One of the greatest weeks in all of sports has to be Super Bowl week. And Media Day was yesterday. Now, I heard Xander this morning on Birds 365. He goes, "You think there's massive buzz to the Super Bowl?" I'm going to show you. Look, because of the teams, I get the conversation, right? There's still going to be 130 million people watch this thing on Super Bowl Sunday. I mean, Bad Bunny, Super Bowl Sunday. What can you get? I think there's going to be a ton of eyeballs on this game on Sunday because I think there's a lot of storylines. Also, some news coming out of Media Day, and that is this. Robert Kraft is not a Hall of Famer. So now you have the greatest, winningest coach, and now the greatest, winningest owner, not Pro Football Hall of Famers, and you have Shedeur Sanders as a Pro Bowler at the Pro Bowl games. Is that right? Okay. The greatest owner in Super Bowl era is not a Pro Football Hall of Famer. And the greatest coach is not a Hall of Famer. Not a very good scenario whatsoever when you're talking about Canton. Guys, hit the like button. We appreciate you very much. Thank you again. And we are going to come down to our Philadelphia Eagles here. And boy, do we have a topic here set up for you. All right. Please hit that like button. We appreciate each and every single one of you. Robert Kraft snubbed for Hall of Fame. Justin Fields is considered a Pro Bowler, but deny request. You got it. I saw that. So Justin Fields was first initially offered the opportunity to be a Pro Bowler. And he said, "Nah, that's all right. I'm out." Justin Fields is a Pro Bowler. Hey, you guys hammered me for this, and maybe I'm going to relent now. Hey, Sileo, nobody gives a shit about being a Pro Bowler. I'm starting to agree with you now. If Justin Fields and Shedeur Sanders are Pro Bowlers, maybe it really doesn't matter. Okay, maybe you win. For the first time, Big Sills may have to actually say this. You win. You win. When Justin Fields is turning down Pro Bowl selections, you know there's a problem, right? You know there's something wrong in Park Avenue. Holy cow. Hey, I'll tell you. Maybe they do need to go back to the game. Or maybe what they do need to go off the Madden. The NFL needs to get back the Madden list. I guess so. Hey, by the way, all Madden, that was always great, man. I loved watching that. I remember when John was doing it. One of the most influential guys in my broadcasting career, actually, was Coach Madden. All right, so let's get into – we're going to play a little game today. And I heard somebody say something. I think it was one of the radio stations in town about the Eagles and about their future. Okay. Obviously, the conversation about Vic Fangio. There was conversation about maybe whether or not Jeff Stoutland could potentially retire. So I'm not saying that the organization is in any kind of transition right now. But what I am saying is, how about this? Let's look at it this way. We're going to look at the future of the Eagles here. Okay. We're going to look at the future. And we're going to go down that lane, and we are going to ask about the future of the Philadelphia Eagles here. Okay? And you tell me at the end of the day here how you feel about the future. How do you feel about the future and the core dudes that are on this football team? Bleak. Okay? Let me get that up. There it is. I'm going to go to it in a second here. Bleak. What else? Anybody? How do you look at the future of the team? Where's Zem Reyes when you need him? I'm going to look at the future of the team. No confidence in the offense. Okay? This is about going forward, rebuilding. Come on, Amrayas. You're being called upon. What do you make of the future of the football team as you get ready for free agency and you get ready for the upcoming draft? What do you make of the future? Definitely changes offensively coming, okay? No confidence in Nick whatsoever. Okay? All right. So I'm going to do this. Let's find out how many core guys you have on your future and who I think you are going to move forward with. And we're going to talk about your future and this so-called talent that you have on your football team. Okay? Young talent on your football team. Let's go there. The core group of your football team. This is going to be a conversation, and it's going to set up your free agency. It's going to set up how you're going to look going into 26, right? Remember one of the things that Xander kept saying this past offseason? We got a great young core of talent on our football team. A lot of good-looking talent, okay? Let's put that to the test right now on what kind of future you think you're going to have for the 26 season. Let's look at this right now. Let's go into it. Okay? Philadelphia Eagles. Let's start on defense. Is Moro Jomo part of your future? I don't think so. He's not part of your future. I mean, you're not going to build a football team around him, are you? If you can let Milton Williams go, you're going to let him go. You got another year with him, but it would go 26 and he's a free agent. So you're not going to address anything right now. So I would say Moro Jomo is not part of the future. Okay. Let's see. Jordan Davis. Let's put Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis, we all agree? I'm going to put defense right above it. Jordan Davis, part of your future? What do you think? Jordan Davis, part of the future of the Eagles? He's one of the core guys. Okay, one of the core guys, right? We'd agree? I'll even agree, yes. You had me laughing. Who's more limited, the quarterback or the coach? Thank you very much. I appreciate the supers going to the top. Thank you. So, Jordan Davis, okay. Would love JD to stay. Fair enough. Okay. So, let's go to Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter has to be part of the core group of guys. Well, my exercise today is I want to see how many core guys you have. And all these core dudes you say you think you have, because I don't think you have as many as you think. Okay? All right. Jalen Phillips is not part of your future. Zach Bond's not part of your future. Nakobe Dean is not part of your future. Nolan Smith is not part of your future. Jalix Hunt is part of your future. Jalix Hunt. Do we all agree so far? Right? Appreciate you, Mr. Hill. Thank you. Big Sills, there's a lot of chatter in Philly regarding Vic. If he doesn't give you a straight answer after the Super Bowl, give him an ultimatum. My take is pay him more than Flores. He's earned the respect. Your take. Bang. Boom. We will, because, thank you, Mr. Hill, we will hit on that. Pay Vic more. Absolutely. We will hit on that. Thank you very much for the super. You disagree on Davis. I think he's too expensive. Okay, we'll get to that. We're going to go back. First, we got to identify the core guys. And then Crowley will go back and get this. Then we'll address it. Jalix Hunt, Jalen Carter, and Jordan Davis. Reed Blankenship is not part of your future. Or do you think he is? How many people in here believe that Reed Blankenship is part of the Eagle core? We'll get there. Promise you. I just said it. I think it's a travesty. So we're going to address the core guys moving forward. Reed Blankenship is not part of your future. No matter what, Vic. Hey, get this. Xander said something interesting, and I'm going to apply this to what Xander said. Vic loves him. Well, Vic ain't going to be here in a year. Vic ain't going to be here in a year. So just because Vic likes him, that's almost irrelevant now. Vic's got one more year. Jahad Campbell, absolutely. Jahad Campbell. Let's see who else on defense. Quinyon Mitchell, Q, for sure. 6, Cooper DeJean. So on defense, you got 6 core guys out of 11 starters. Jordan Davis, and then we're going to go back and talk some money here. You've got Jordan Davis, you've got Jalen Carter, you've got Jelix Hunt, you've got Jahad Campbell, you've got Q, and you've got Cooper DeJean. Those are your 5 guys. What we're doing here is we're going to identify, because I heard somebody say something in Philly today. The Eagles have a lot of core guys. I don't think you do. So now let's go over to the offensive side and take a look at your offensive guys. And let's start with the quarterback. How many people think that Jalen Hurts is part of the core and he's part of the future of the team? Hey, McCubbin looks like a fine ball player, but I don't believe he's part of your future. Yeah, A.J. Brown. Oh, wait. Yeah, no. Hang on. We're going to get to these guys. We're going to get to the offense. Okay? Is Hurts part of the future? Is Hurts a core guy? Is Jalen Hurts a core dude? Stupid quarterback comment? Let's see what people say there. Spit. Well, 2 years is not a future. I don't know. To some extent. Hurts right now is, but he's currently on the hot seat. Well, then he's not part of your core. Do you believe Jalen Hurts is a core guy on your team? I don't. I don't think he is. Would you consider the quarterback to be one of your core guys building your football team for the Eagle future? Not me. 50-50? So your quarterback's not part of your future. On February 2nd? No. Wow. You guys are shocking me actually in here. Because he's not. I agree with you guys. He is not part of your future. So let's move down. Is Saquon Barkley part of your future? No. What's Barkley got left? 1 year? That's not future. Saquon Barkley won't be on this football team in 2 years. He's not part of your he's not part of your core group of guys. He's in the now. He's not part of your future. He's not part of your core group. Okay? A.J. Brown's not part of your future. You're debating right now whether or not A.J. Brown's even on the freaking team. So far, Hurts, Barkley, and A.J. are not part of your future. And not part of the core group of guys. I look at the defense. A young Jordan Davis. A young Jalen Carter. a young Jalen Hunt, a young Jod Campbell, a young Q, and a young Cooper DeJean. That's core group of dudes. That's a core group. That's building for the future. Is right there. Those 6 dudes on defense. And so far, quarterback's not, the running back's not, and your star receiver's not. 2 years, you'll be in a rebuild. Maybe even 1 year. The way we're talking now. Devontae Smith, absolutely part of your core. Devontae Smith. Jahan Dotson, absolutely not. Dallas Goedert, absolutely not. Lane Johnson, absolutely not. Jordan Mailata, I'm going to put yes. Part of your future. Boy, sounds like to me, you got a lot of dudes on your football team that, I mean, A.J. Brown, you're debating whether he'll be here. Barkley's got another year left at best. A.J., I mean, we just said it. Lane Johnson has maybe no years left. Devontae Smith. How about Landon Dickerson? You think Landon Dickerson's part of your future? I don't. Well, wait. Let's take that back. Let's give Landon Dickerson the benefit of the doubt because of injury. So let's do this. Let's give him the benefit. I'm good with that. I'll put Landon Dickerson here. Landon Dickerson. How about Cam Jurgens? I am completely out on him. He's not part of your future. He's not part of your future. Tyler Steen is not part of your future. Get this. Cam is a no. Correct. Okay, so who's left? Steen's not. He's replaceable. So let's take a look at your core group of dudes. On offense, Devontae Smith are people you want to build around. Jordan Mailata and Landon Dickerson. The rest of those dudes, it's debatable if they're here in 2 years. They're not part of your future. As of right now, you got 9 guys that are core group of dudes out of 22. 9. Half your football team are people that you're going to look at as core dudes. Most of them, and 6 of them are on defense. Your offense is going to go through transition here. Okay? And get this. You see this douchebag here? Just because you're paying them don't mean they're good. You paid A.J. Brown that money, and he wasn't very good this year. Saquon Barkley was average. And get this. Not anytime soon? Well, then guess what? You'll suck and win 7 ball games this year. Guys, where's your core on being good? It's on defense. There's 3 guys that I think are your core group of dudes that are people you could build your team around. The other guys, they're hemorrhaging your salary cap. Cam's not going to be any better. A.J. Brown's not going to be here. Dallas Goedert's gone. Lane's retiring. And get this, like I said, Hurts is not getting any better. Where's your future on offense? Help me out here on that. Go down the list again offensively. Hurts is not getting any better. Barkley's not getting any younger. and you're paying him, which is now dumb. AJ, 50-50, he's here. He doesn't even want to be here. Smith is a core guy. Dotson's not. Goddard's not. Mulata is. Dickerson is. Juergens isn't. Steen isn't. And Lane Johnson's not. You got 3 guys on offense. And to M. Reyes' point, hold on, so negative? We're talking about building for free agency, Kim, and then working into the draft. I was told you had a core group. I'm not being negative. We're called being a realist. This is not rose-petaled shows. You told me the entire offseason you were loaded on talent. I told you were full of shit. Negative? Leon. Okay, Leon, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll let you pick them. Sills, this is the reason Howie and Lori are making these decisions, because they see the writing on the wall and hoping to win just with talent. I know. I get this. They don't want to hear the facts. I'm trying to set up your free agency and what you have to do in free agency. You don't want to hear it. That's crazy. That's crazy that you guys are in here with knee pads. Hey, Leon, let me go here, Leon. I'll go with you. Moral Jomo's not part of your future. Jalen Phillips is not part of your future. Zach Bond will be here 2 more years at most. N'Kobe's not. Nolan Smith isn't. Adoree Jackson's not. Reed Blankenship's not. Marcus Epps isn't. Q is. And Cooper DeJean is. I mean, what have I said that's not truth? What has been not true? The truth hurts, Sills. I'm pissed about Elliott's extension, too. I mean, what am I not telling the truth on? What am I being negative on? Leon, what am I being negative on? I'm talking about setting up for free agency here. Who are the guys that you're going to build around? Okay? Look at this guy. The only way you figure out what your moves are going to be, dumb nuts, is if who you think you have as a core group of dudes, then you fill in the gaps. This guy is, hey, I get dumber every time I talk to that asshole. Honestly, I get dumber. I get dumber. It's not criticism. It's reality. Okay? It's reality. There's 3 dudes that are core guys that will be here in the next 5 years. Devontae, Mulata, and Landon. On defense, it's about 6. There's 9 dudes. Hey, by the way, I'm going to show you something. Let me go to the New York Giants, and I'll show you how that number relates to other teams. Let's pick a team. Let's pick the Dallas Cowboys, okay? Let's go to the Dallas Cowboys, and I'll show you what I'm talking about and how that number is not as shitty as you think it is, 9 guys. Is Dak Prescott going to be on the Cowboys in 3 years? No. He's not part of their future. Is CeeDee Lamb? Yes. Is Pickens? No. Is Jake Ferguson? Yes. Is Hunter Luepke? No. Is Tyler Smith? Yes. Is Cooper Beebe? No. Brock Hoffman? No. Tyler Booker? Yes. Is Terrence Steele? Probably. On defense. Donovan? Yes. The 2 tackles, yes. Quinn Williams. Dante Fowler, no. Overshawn, yes. James, Murray, Revel, Wilson, Hooker, no. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got 8 guys in Dallas that are part of their core. It's standard. No team has 15 or 16 guys that are a core group of dudes. You're snowed on maybe Revel, maybe he is part of it. Okay? Okay? Let's see here. You don't know shit about their team. Who, the Cowboys? Of course not. That's why the CEO comes on our program. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right. Ferg is not in Dallas' future. No, and neither is Dak. Well, yeah, you know what? Probably so. I'll take it. Yes. Okay? So let me go here. As I said, what are you going to do on your offensive side of the football? And you're talking about Vic potentially leaving. Seals, when Vic leaves, you think the drop-off will be significant with Clint Hurt? It'll look a lot different. It'll be a lot different. Vic is great, but can you afford to wait if there's a solid replacement out there this year rather than wait a year? There's no coordinator unless it's Spagnuolo, Jim Schwartz. Who else? Maybe Sean McDermott that you could have as a guy. Raheem's already been hired to San Francisco. Seals, Howie has a boatload of decisions. What would you do? That's the question. You got to start the replacement of the overhaul of the offense. Let's do this. I think there's a great chance you're losing Lane, AJ, and Goddard. And I'll make this point. You may have Lane, but let's put the percentages on this. Lane's 50-50 on coming back. I think that number on AJ is higher than 50-50. I think it's 70-30. He's out. That new coordinator you hired is only an indictment of what you're going to do as you did a year ago. You're not changing your offense. AJ could not be happy with that hire. There's no way in hell. Do you know what that would be like for me? That would be like you having a 43 defensive coordinator and a 4-3 coordinator, and you hire a 34. I'm out of a job. I'm not a nose tackle. And you want me to play out of position. That's exactly what AJ's looking with that hire. AJ's going to look at that hire and go, they're not looking to spread the ball around. What the hell does he know about spreading the ball around? The most experienced guy in the entire offensive side is the quarterback, not the coordinator. AJ doesn't want to play in that, nor would I. It's a stupid comment. You hired a guy. As a matter of fact, this may be a perfect way for them to get rid of AJ even more and force him out. That's almost like forcing AJ Brown out of your team. Okay? You bringing a guy in who's never called plays, in my opinion, is a message to AJ. All that shit you complained about a year ago, well, you ain't going to be here this year to complain about it. There's no way. Get this. Where in your right mind would you think that made him happy? Where would you think that? Like, where, in what world? A.J. Brown is happy about that. Help me out there on that. How is he happy? How's he happy? You're going to throw the ball what? Less? More? What? Oh, we don't know. Nobody likes to go into training camps not knowing what the hell you're doing. All middle routes? The quarterback can't throw across the middle of the field. And the quarterback doesn't throw across the middle of the field. So my point is, in free agency, I think you're going to need, hey, I don't think you're going to have to replace the quarterback this year, but you're going to have to replace a right tackle, a right guard, a wide receiver, a tight end, a running back, all within the next 2 years. And who knows what the quarterback's going to do in 26. And get this. This is what people are going to say in Philly. Well, we're hoping for health. Okay? Because players always get healthier, right? Oh, and by the way, you think there's any coincidence each and every single guy in that offense sucked last year? You're blaming all that on the coordinator? Says A.J. Brown might love his money more than the potential of making the Hall of Fame. I would. Okay? That's a loser mentality, Sil. What? What's a loser mentality? That you got to replace all those guys? Oh, that you're hoping that your guys get healthier. Okay? Do you let the big contracts walk so you can sign the backup quarterback if you think Hurts replacement, which I'm not sure? How about this? The big-time contracts, like M. Reyes says, you're going to have to die with those. Cam Jurgens? If Landon doesn't bounce back, by the way, let me just Google this. How many surgeries has Landon Dickerson had since in the NFL? "13 surgeries. And he's your future? Offensive lineman Landon Dickerson has undergone a total of 13 surgeries in his NFL career. As of October 24th, he's battled various injuries, at least 2 surgeries requiring alone on his knee, including a meniscus cleanup in his right knee and a back injury. Total injuries through his career of October 25th, he's had a total of 13 surgeries. So you think that guy's your future? 13 surgeries? You think maybe 6 have caught up with him? Out of those 13? 13 surgeries. Back, knee, foot, ankle. Get this. Sills is a hater. For what? Saying that Landon Dickerson has had 13 surgeries and you might want to think about a replacement? I think that you would think Howie Roseman was a hater then, because how I'm talking or how personnel people talk. I don't think you guys would really like how the NFL talks behind the doors at NovaCare. I don't think you guys realize how NFL executives talk, because it's not love. And get this, it's not what you think. Oh, you had only 13 surgeries? You know what the personnel people are saying? Howie, this guy's had 13 surgeries. It's time to think about a replacement for the guy. As much as we love the dude, and they do love the guy. Okay? Sills, thoughts on Kraft not making the Hall of Fame? It's asinine. The winningest owner in the history of the National Football League and the winningest head coach, not Hall of Famers? Okay, so I badmouthed the Eagles talking about surgeries that were on your offensive guard, and I'm asking you how you're going to build and rebuild your football team with free agency like you did the defense, and you called that hating? You know what I'll call you? A snowflake. Snowflake. Man, you are not a Philly fan. You are not an Eagle fan. Nobody gives a shit about the players on the back of the net. They care about the team, I thought. Man, you're a snowflake. Holy shit. Toughen up, guy. Go listen to one of those other snow job shows. Crazy? We talk like the NFL in here, man. Some of that is not cool for you. I get it. Go home and you get upset. We're talking about, I'm not ripping your team here. I have not ripped your team in 1 second. I have not said one thing negative about it. I'm talking about rebuilding your football team, asshole. What a snow job. NFL is cutthroat people. Time to move on. Thank you, but goodbye. Correct. Hey, when they moved on from Derek Brooks, or they moved on from John Lynch, and they moved on from Warren Sapp, and they moved on, you know what everybody was saying to me about that shit? They're not going to move on. Of course they're going to move on. The Glazers moved on from those guys, brought new dudes in. Everyone goes, how come they didn't treat them like that? You know why? Because that's not how the NFL talks. That's not how the NFL talks. I'm with you, Prince. Cam's done. Some guys have long careers. Some guys have short careers. Seals, what should Howie's number one priority be? I like that, Jimbo. We're going to get to that. Seals, you trade down, pick up multiple 2 picks, plus don't have to pay a lot in first-round money. Kyle, I do dig that. I think this draft is going to be pretty deep offensive line-wise. Can we rebuild through the draft and free agency? Yes. You know why? There's only one guy in the room that gets the benefit of the doubt. You know who that is? It's Howie. Nick don't. Nobody else in that building. Hey, you know what I wrote down here? Do you know who the most unreplaceable person in the Philadelphia Eagle organization is? Not your quarterback. It's not your D coordinator, who it would be a loss. It's Howie. As long as Howie's in that building, you're going to be competitive. Okay? And like I said, you know what we're doing here? We're setting you up for March 11th. And then the draft. These are questions you talk now about. Who's your core group of dudes? Okay? How many people have said this? Eaglevania, how many times have you heard Howie Roseman say, well, I'm already 2 years ahead of this process. I'm already thinking 2 years ahead. That's kind of what we're doing. Within the interim, you got free agency. That's hating. That's called building your team and taking a look at what you have and what you don't have and what you're not going to have to build with. Hating? How do you build a team? Do you even know what you're talking about when you're talking about building a team? How many times have you heard Howie say, if you're thinking about it now, it's too late? Eaglevania. Thank you, Eaglevania. Right message, wrong messenger. We have to listen to the facts being said. Stop putting emotions in this. The season is over. Go Birds. That's exact. Take your emotions out of it. Your emotions. Hey, Eaglevania, do you agree the emotions of the football team you use during the season to root them on, victory, hoping for players to play well. The offseason, you got to take the emotions out of it. Who comes, who goes, who stays, who's part of the future, who's a core guy, who's not a core guy. Folks, that's not hating. That's called NFL. What? How's that? I've not said one negative thing except that guy's not part of the future. Nobody in a million years would sit there and say that Lane Johnson is part of the future of the Philadelphia Eagles. He's not. Dallas Goedert's not part of the future. I mean, what are you talking about? Are you really going to moan and cry like that? So Howie's probably thinking at least, yeah, probably. Question is this. You think Sirianni's part of the future of the Eagles in 3 years? Says, I know you don't have a crystal ball, but who's Howie targeting in free agency? I think they first got to realize, who the guys that they think they're going to be able to sign. Hey, that number that people are floating out about Jalen Phillips at 17.5, so you're going to pay him less than you paid Josh Sweat? I heard John McMullen say Josh Sweat's not as good as Jalen Phillips, and you're going to pay him less and less than market value? Never happened. That guy's 21, 22 million bucks. Tennessee will hire that guy. You're not signing him for $17 million. That guy's going to be in the 20s low, I think, because of the knee surgeries. But he's out. Guys, don't get butthurt over this. You got 9 core guys on your football team. Davis, Carter, Hunt, Campbell, Q, Cooper, Devontae, and Milana, and Landon Dickerson. That over the next 3 years, and you know what? Now that I know he's got 13 injuries, Landon Dickerson is not going to be here in 3 years. There's no way. 13, what would it be, 18, 19? Be half the player. So in theory, you got 8 guys that are part of your future. Nolan Smith's not part of your future. It's debate. Hey, if you use this, N'Kobe, debatable. Not really. He was saying goodbyes at the end of the season. Like I said, you got about 8 guys that over the next 2 years you're going to have to build the team around. So I think one of the biggest problems is we have a quarterback that isn't a clear leader on the team. It's different. Saquon took over the locker room in a short amount of time. It was always the O-line before. I think that's a great comment by you. Okay? I don't think that Jalen Hurts is a core guy. I don't believe he'll be here 3 years from now. No way. No way. He's going to get better? By doing what? Running less? The less Hurts runs, the worse he is. The more he runs, the better he is. You got to figure that out first. Let's put this on the table about Jalen Hurts. The less he runs, the worse he'll be. The more he runs, the best he'll be. Plain and simple. He runs less in 26, and I think he will. He'll be worse, not better. He's not going to all of a sudden have some epiphany and turn into some sort of pocket guy when he's never been. His pre-draft scouting report has never changed. That dude's who he is. Sills is a Jalen hater. Super Bowl MVP. So what? So what? What's that have to do with his talent on carrying a football team? He can't carry a team. Dude, you couldn't carry a team past San Francisco, and it was a shell of a team. I mean, they were a shell of a team. He couldn't throw themselves out of it. and you had all the players you have right now. You had a 3-1 talent over the 49ers in that wild card game, and you couldn't score more than 19 points. You're going to get better? Yeah, but we were hurting the O-line. San Francisco had their entire team hurt. They lost Kittle in the first 4 minutes. One, your coach couldn't answer questions. And secondly, your quarterback couldn't throw you out of problems. Think of how bad that game was, Roland. That was Roland, you could make the argument that that was the worst performance in the Sirianni era. And look, here's typical. You're blaming the OC for your quarterback sucking. Says OC sucked. Let's face it. Come on. And Sirianni doesn't help. So wait a minute. You go to the line of scrimmage. Your quarterback can't audible out of plays. He's not smart enough to audible out of you plays and get you into a better play. He's not. And your best play is to throw in double coverage on 4th and 11. He didn't see anything better than that. Look, he runs less, he'll be less. He runs more, he'll be more. That's the story of Jalen Hurts at 26. Plain and simple. If Jalen runs the ball and has 700 to 800 yards rushing, you'll win 13 games. If Jalen Hurts runs for 300 yards, you'll win 7 to 9 games. He's not a pocket guy. Get this. Here's something interesting. Shut the fuck up about Super Bowl MVP. So was Nick Foles. There you go. There you go, Temple. Okay? Temple, think about this. So let me ask you this, Temple. If the organization and the owner was thinking of firing Nick Sirianni twice, what do you think their feelings are on Hurts? Got the same record, don't they? They got the same record, 50-18 in the last 4 years. I can't think they think, well, we're going to think more of Jalen than we do of Nick. They may. They might. How you doing, my friend? I think you guys are going to have a really great year coming up, 49ers. Get all your pieces back. Bosa, Warner. I think John Lynch does a nice job at drafting. What factor did AJ play in the games this year? Did we win despite, or would we not have him change the record? If you don't have AJ Brown on that football team, what's the threat in the outside? Devontae? I think Devontae's a really good football player. Sasha, I think he is a really good football player. But do I think he's AJ Brown in a 1? I don't. Now, you put him with a quarterback like Stafford, he's going to get you 1,300 yards. You put him in an offense where he's got to be the number one dude, and the quarterback is not elite. I mean, he's not that guy. Like, Devontae Smith with Burrow would be insane. Devontae Smith with Kyler Murray would be a bum. With pick a dual threat. You know what he would be? He'd be Zay Flowers in Baltimore. Devontae Smith would be Zay Flowers. Like that. I think he's better than Alvin Harper. Harper had more speed, though. You just convinced me we have to draft high in the O-line sales. And if they don't start this year, C. Campbell, hoping for health isn't a viable long-term plan. Absolutely not. Where will you hide when you... Thanks for the super, dude. Appreciate it. A 250,000 steamy pile of shit. Reyes, thanks for the super. Appreciate it. Devontae is a twig. Dude, I think Devontae's a hell of a player, and I was wrong about him when they drafted him. He's been a viable guy. He's been a great player. Really has. Sales, Jalen is not the type of quarterback that elevates the players around him. I disagree. Well, unless you think the style of play elevates and not the quarterback. Because guess what? You know, Jimbo, I happen to agree with you. Jalen Hurts does not elevate the players around him. The style of play does. The style of play got those 1,000-yard receivers their numbers because nobody else gets numbers. And if you say Dallas Goedert had a good year, if you think 50 catches and 600 yards is good for a tight end, I get the 11 TDs. Excellent. But 50 catches for 600 yards, or I think it was 590, something like that. You think that's great? Sure. I don't. Tight ends in today's NFL, 50 catches? Sure. Then why did they let them go? How about this? If Dallas Goedert had such a great year, why are the Eagles letting him go? Why'd they ask him to take a pay cut? It's in the offense, right? It's not the quarterback. They throw to two people. Him and him. Him and him. Him and him. They don't spread the ball around. Spread the ball around to who? Your third wide receiver, I pointed out to you, combined they had 29 catches in the 3-hole. Don't spread the ball around. If I'm a coordinator, I know where they're going. Right, left, right, left, right, left, throw out of bounds. It's not an offense. And most of those catches are 5 to 10 yards. So Smitty's talent could be wasted with Hurts. I don't think they're wasted. He gets his numbers. They win a lot. They win with this style of play. But, I mean, AJ wants more, in my opinion. You know, if I were AJ, I'd take a look at it more like the Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin could have had a hell of a lot more yards in other places. Michael Irvin sacrificed a lot of yards in Dallas. Why? Emmitt Smith. I mean, Emmitt Smith had 350 carries a year, 335. What was it? How many carries did Emmitt have a year? And then you tell me if Michael Irvin sacrificed Emmitt Smith, how many carries do you think how many times do you think he went over 300 carries? I'll make a point to you here and why Michael Irvin is a better teammate than A.J. Brown. So here's Emmitt Smith, 365, 373, 368, 377, 327, 320, 339, 294, 288, 254, and as his career was winding down. First part of his career, Emmitt Smith was averaging 350 carries a year. There's not a lot of footballs to go around. How many attempts do you think the quarterback threw for? 20? There was about what? Because there's always 63 plays in a game. So you're talking about one guy, not Daryl Johnson getting the ball even in runs. You're talking about the run game getting 40 carries a game and 63 plays a game as an average. You're talking about 23 passes to Harper, to the tight end, and to Irvin. There's not a lot of footballs to go around in an offense like that. Okay? So did Michael Irvin sacrifice catches and yards? Of course he did. Because Michael Irvin wanted to win. AJ doesn't want to do this any longer, it seems. I think they're compatible. I think, here, let me show you. Michael Irvin didn't have, I don't think he ever had 100 yards or 100 catches. I don't even think he had 90 in a year. The offense was based around, was Emmitt Smith. Was it based around the passing game? Here's Michael Irvin. 93. He did have 100 one year, 1995. 93, 78, 88, 79, 111, 64, 75, 74. I mean, Michael Irvin was 15-23 one year, 13-96, 13-12, Think about what he did as an average. Michael Irvin probably averaged what? 7 catches, 6 catches a game? Maybe 5 catches a game? Okay? But that was all Emmett. Let's see here. Imagine if Irvin stayed in Miami and played with Dan. If he was with Dan Marino, he'd have had 135 catches. That's what he wanted to do. He dreamed of playing in Miami with Dan Marino. And he probably would have had 130 catches a game. Sills, if the Eagles are a run-first team with a quarterback who can't pass, limited. I didn't say he can't. He's limited. I want to be fair. I didn't say can't. I said limited. An offense that can't convert third downs. That is a major problem. Your quarterback hurts the team when he doesn't run. Why? The reason that the Eagles are so bad on third down, the quarterback refuses to run anymore. He thinks he's going to make third down through the air. I missed your super chat. Big Z, I think maybe I missed the last one of Eaglevania. For a unit that won the Super Bowl, it's crazy that none of these players or coaches are guaranteed to be an Eagle in 3 years. No one is safe. Howie season. Eaglevania. That's not an Eagle thing. That's an NFL thing. Okay? Seals, did you hear the notion that the Giants fans aren't too keen on Nagy because of his history with then rookie Trubinsky? Folks worry it might be the same deal with Knicks. It's not Nagy's preferred quarterback. Well, let's take a look at that. And let's take a look at what Brian Daboll did compared to Matt Nagy as a head coach in Chicago. I thought Matt Nagy won the NFL Coach of the Year up there. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Matt Nagy, didn't he throw for 4,000 yards one year up there? Now, I get what you're saying, style of play. Let's see here, Matt Nagy. I thought Matt Nagy had a pretty good, didn't he win a boatload of games? 34-31. They won 12 games. Then they won 8-8, 8-8, and 6-11. Had one losing season in 4 years. And in the first 2 years that he was there, they won 20 ball games. I don't know. I mean, did he win Coach of the Year? I thought he won the NFL Coach of the Year. By the way, the guys who were on that coaching staff, Brandon Staley was the outside linebackers coach. Vic Fangio was the defensive coordinator. And Chuck Pagano was the co-defensive coordinator in Chicago for Matt Nagy. So do you think one of the reasons that the New York Giants hired Matt Nagy is so that Matt Nagy can coordinate against Vic Fangio? Did you tie that in at all? Matt Nagy was hired in New York for a reason. Matt Nagy knows Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio knows Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy hired Vic Fangio. Okay, so they hired him for a reason. Okay, I mean, he knows Vic. That's why he's there. And I think he's not a bad hire. I don't have a problem with him as a coordinator. I mean, you could do worse. You could do worse. You could hire a guy who's never been a coordinator before and has only been a coach for 25 months. You could do worse. Oh, wait, sorry. Yo, Sil, serious thought. Between Patullo not being able to scheme and adjust and Knicks prevent offense, what can Hurts really have done more? You don't think he'll be better next year? No, because you hired a guy. How are you going to be better next year when you hired a guy he's less skilled than Kevin Patullo? Based on what? SS, tell me this. What are you gauging that on? And I'll go, yeah, that's a great thought. Hope? What's your litmus? Because he played? These are all lame reasons. These are all lame reasons. Why do you think Vic Fangio is a good coordinator? Well, he's been in the sport for 40 years. He's coached some of the greatest players in the history of the sport. He's elevated guys. He's developed players. Had a number one defense a couple years ago, and he's always really around the top 5 in his entire coaching career when it comes to being a coordinator. Struggled a little bit probably after his 11th, 12th, and 13th year, but after that, most of the time, he's been one of the best and most duplicated defensive coordinators in football. What can you say about Sean Mannion? He played at Oregon? Okay. So here, experience doesn't always translate to competence. So would you rather take a chance on a guy who is, let me ask you this then, Michael. If you had to have open heart surgery and you had 5 guys in the room, 5 guys were experienced and 5 guys had no experience on open heart surgery, but they told you that some of these guys were going to be some of the best surgeons of all time and your life depended on it, who would you take? Guy who's had multiple open heart surgeries and been successful doing it? Or would you go and you hire the guy and go, I have a good feeling about that guy. Go ahead, cut away. Open me up. I'm ready to rock. Is that how you would do things? Really? Well, remind me never to really cross bridges with you, dude. Hey, I don't really think that, and that's not a big hole. Let's just drive over it. Okay. I'll take my chances with people that have done it versus people that haven't done it. You wouldn't, though. Fair enough. How he moved off of Wentz to create another Super Bowl. He did. He will more than likely do the same with Jalen. Of course he will. You gave a test pilot a pilot's license on a commercial plane. Hey, that's probably better. Mannion is a clean slate for Jalen. I like it, Sills. Okay, so he's a clean slate. What's his slate? We don't know yet. Here, I wrote this down about him. Where is it? We won't know Sean Mannion who he is until September. I know who Vic Fangio is now. I know who Matt Nagy is now. So we have no idea if this is going to work until September. Well, Sills, do we really know if Matt Nagy's going to work in New York? Well, he's got John Harbaugh. By the way, you know who the D coordinator is in New York? It's Denard Wilson, your guy. Don't you find it odd what John Harbaugh's done? So he hired a guy in Matt Nagy who had Vic Fangio on his coaching staff in Chicago. And then John Harbaugh hires Denard Wilson, who was your DB coach and who wanted the job instead of the Eagles giving it to Sean Desai. You think there's any coincidence to that? Do you? Or no? John Harbaugh is building a coaching staff. Get this. Okay, that's a reach, Sills. Come on. So wait a minute. You don't think the Giants are building a coaching staff to beat the Eagles? And by the way, Denard Wilson's running Vic Fangio's defense in New York. You think that's a reach? So you think that when people go into the April draft, they don't draft people to beat the 49ers or Detroit. They draft people to beat their divisional opponents. They hire people to beat the divisional opponents. You got to win your division first. You build your team around the division. So wait a minute. When they got Quinnen Williams, the Cowboys, they did that because why? Eagles run the ball. You think that's a reach? That's how they do it. Dan, I feel this offense is getting older and is expensive. Two things, coordinators, and two things that GMs hate to hear. Intern Sirianni, those are things people don't want to hear. Older and expensive. They like cheap and peppy. Cheap and peppy. That's what they like. Deals. Older and expensive. No one wants that. I think you need more balance. You'll never get balance with Hurts unless Jalen runs. Your balance in your offense when he was doing that was his balance. Throwing, running, throwing, running. Guy runs for 300 yards. That football team's not balanced, is it? Yeah, you're going to have to pay. Look at this. You're going to have to pay the defensive side now. You got 6 core dudes on that team. You got about 2 on offense. Depending on what you think longevity in the NFL is. I happen to think it's 3 years. So I'm going to use the Jimmy Johnson line. We got to beat the division, draft interior O-line, good DTs. That's how I learned it. So if teams are built to stop the run, teams are built to stop opponents in your division. Sasha, you built, if there's a dominant team, okay, why do you think there's a ton of great DBs in the AFC West? Derwin James, go down the list. Okay? If you don't have great DBs in the AFC West, you're not beating Mahomes. If you don't have edge rushers, okay? If you don't have edge rushers and you don't have corners in the AFC, you're not beating Mahomes. You're not beating Allen. You're not beating them dudes. So with teams, well, that's experience as a player doesn't make you a good coach. No. Take a special person to call plays and coach a player to their best in big games. Eagles have something in Jalen. I don't know if Nick is it. No, I think that's Jalen. I think Jalen's decisions and how he approaches the game is the thing that's now it's his move. I don't think they coach him very well, but when Jalen Hurts decides not to run, okay, he decides not to run, he's limited. Mahomes isn't the real deal. He's not. 5 AFC championships and 3 Super Bowls and 3 Super Bowl MVPs. Got it. Every time you open your mouth, dude, you sound dumber. Sills, I sent the super chat, need you to take on the Birds paying Vic more. I saw that and I read it. Flores, thank you. Mr. Hill, I saw that. We read it. Flip the script, you dum-dums. You have so much existing cap debt. Yes. If divisional opponents are built to stop their peers, then why were the entirety of the NFC East opponents ranked in the bottom 10 in rushing defense in the past 2 years? Great question. Every one of those football teams were hit with cap issues and bad management. Daniel Snyder's group, one of the worst groups in drafting, never landed on any real true draft choices that were anything. The Dallas Cowboys have been bad against the run, and They missed on Mozzie Smith. They missed on numerous draft picks. And because they were bad, that's an organizational miss on defense. They overrated their secondary. Their problems were in the draft and then overvaluating talent. That's why the Cowboys haven't been good on. That's why when people were saying this about Michael Parsons, actually the Cowboys got better on defense when they got rid of the guy. People don't want to hear that and believe that, but they did. Quinnen Williams has made more of an impact on the Dallas Cowboys than Micah Parsons ever did. People don't want to hear that. Sills, are you saying he's a better player? No. I'm telling you his defensive tackle position had more of an impact than an edge guy. You guys won a Super Bowl with not one guy with double digits. Shit, your 22 team, you had 4 guys with 10 sacks or more. The team in 22 or 24 that had the Super Bowl win, I don't believe one guy was in double digits. I don't think you had a double-digit sack guy anywhere. And you won the Super Bowl and you were dominant. Having 15 or 16 sacks, so what if you don't have it? Can he set the edge? Can he play? Can he put pressure on the quarterback and have volume? Okay? Seals, for DC, when Vic goes, Big Z for OC. Gotcha. There'd be a lot of running football, I think, with Sander being the OC. Me? What kind of defense? Oh, I bring pressure. I bring pressure with that talent. I'd move Q all over. I'd travel his ass. Cooper DeJean would be in the middle of the football field knocking dudes out. Says, I have something I thought about. Seems like Jalen benefits from a quarterback-friendly mindset play caller, such as Shane or Kellen. And yes, without a doubt, he was not good in 24, but it worked. Yeah, because they kept him in the sandbox again. You know why it didn't work as much? Because Barkley wasn't great. Barkley's not great. The offense won't be great. Don't you see this? In 2024, the offense was spectacular because Barkley was spectacular. 2025, Barkley was okay. The offense was okay. Jalen, nothing to do with it. Jalen was the same guy he was, I think, in 24 as he was in 25. I don't think he was any different. When he was asked they had to win a game, he couldn't do it. Game that mattered. It's boomer or bust next year. I believe in this team, okay? But you have to have all the options on the table. I'd rather they go 1-16 than be the Sixers. It's a great take. I agree. I want guys taking – listen, I'll tell you this about your GM. Never rip your GM on moves, okay? Because he doesn't stop making moves. That bullshit he did the entire offseason, I laid it out for you guys. Told you, those guys weren't going to make any impact. However, he didn't stop swinging. He kept swinging. He kept swinging. Adoree got better. You know, the only 2 moves he made that were worth the shit last year were Jalen Phillips and Adoree Jackson. The rest of them were not very good. Every other move. Hey, Kyle, how many moves did Howie? Let me see that. How many trades did he make for the 2026 season? 25 season, excuse me. How many moves? How many trades or deals did Howie Roseman make in 2025? Let's see. As early as November of 25, Eagle general manager Howie Roseman has made over 10 significant documented trades. And here, look, Kenyon Green stuck. Mechie was, I don't know. Alexander turned out to be a disaster. Carter, I don't know what happened to him. And Jalen Phillips. That's right. You signed Adoree'. You signed Adoree' as a free agent. So he wasn't really a deal. You signed him. How many signings did he have? How many deals? Let's go signings. How many players did he sign? Players. Did Howie Roseman 2025? That sound right? 14? 14 deals? 14 deals. Dory and Jalen. So the rest of those things he did were like not very good. But he kept swinging. He kept swinging. That's okay with me. You keep swinging like that. That's all right. Yeah, but Ringo was on the team already. Just the Cowboys had a top 5 offense and top 5 defense in 23. Dak is not a great quarterback when it matters. Okay? Sure. So play Howie. You're on the clock. You just lost AJ, Lane. The tight end's up in the air. What do you do? I'm on the clock. Eagles are picking at 23. Is that right? What am I doing in the draft if I lose those guys? Picking 23. This is preliminary now. The Utah O-lineman, Lomu. Possibly Denzel Boston from Washington. Maybe Cassius Howe, that kid from A&M who I love. Kenyon Sadiq, the kid from Oregon. I think he's a little undersized, though, and he's a junior. It's all going to be predicated, though, on what, again, everyone does. Because the kid, Terrell, I like him, the corner from Clemson. But he's going to go, I think, in the teens. I think the Cowboys are probably going to draft that Arizona State wide receiver if they lose Pickens. I'll tell you something, too, who could be down there at that time. Hakeem Messidor. He might be down there, too, at 23. The other end on the other side of Reuben Bain from the University of Miami. So it's a hard question to ask right now. Because, again, we identified your core. And like you said, here's the biggest questions going into March 12th. AJ, Lane, Goddard, Phillips, Adoree'. Here, Do I have to replace AJ? Do I have to replace Lane? Do I have to replace Goddard? Do I have to replace Phillips? And do I have to replace Adoree? Am I coming back with Adoree Jackson? Those are all key spots. And get this, those are all premium spots. One wide out, left your number one tackle, your top target and tight end, your top edge rusher, and your second best corner on your team. I mean, those are 5 huge decisions. Now, if Lane goes, okay, if Lane goes, I think the progression order changes. I think because, again, here, think of this. If Lane retires and you can't re-sign Phillips, that's an edge and your number one tackle gone. Tight end, I might wait until the second or third to go down there. If you lose AJ in free agency or a trade or, I don't know, I mean, during the Super Bowl week here, I don't know. I doubt they do anything until after the Super Bowl. Okay? AJ, to me, if you're going to be a run football team, I think that's second or third. If you lose Lane, that's got to be a top priority. And then your second priority, I think, has got to be Phillips. Got to set the edge in Vic Fangio's defense. And that's all assuming that you think that J.Alex Hunt's going to continue to improve. Then you got to ask yourself, what do I do with Nolan Smith? I drafted him 30th. So, I mean, what do you do if you're Howie? Again, you first have to ID who do we think in the next 3 years? And I laid it out. Davis, Carter, Hunt, Campbell, Q, Cooper. I don't want to hear about borderline guys. These are guys that I think are your core dudes. Well, maybe this, if you paid him this, you kept. No, Kobe Dean's not a core guy. You know why? You can't miss 24 of 51 games. Or you just can't. You can't miss that many games. 24 games out of 51. Get the hell out of here with that. And okay, well, Sills, I'll only have to give him $7 million. Sure, I'll bring him back. Still unreliable to build a core around him. Is he good? Yeah. What's the point? Core guys play 17 games. On offense, I really think you have 2 dudes. Landon Dickerson's had 13 surgeries. 13 surgeries. And he's going to get healthier? I heard John say that. Well, Landon's not going to play as bad. Okay, it might not be the fact that just playing bad. Just the fact that the guy has been under the knife. I mean, the last 5 years, every year? Dude, that's a lot of damage. Every time, you know what? I'll tell you a secret just on me. I got a lot of issues. I got a ton of issues. Okay? I mean, I have a ton of issues in my life with my feet, my back, my hands. Dude, I don't want to get cut again. And I'm older. I don't want to get cut. Getting cut sucks. You know how many times I've been cut? 3 on left knee, 3 on the right knee. I should have had surgery. My calf exploded when I was with the Cowboys. I've had surgery on both my elbows countless times. I've broken my jaw in every single finger in my hand. I've broken both wrists, and I've broken my arm. I don't want any more surgeries. And a guy like Landon, who's playing at that level for that long time, that's not a quality of life. When you get older, you don't have that great quality of life. I mean, I can't think the last time I slept 6 hours straight, like ever. I can't remember that. Am I complaining? No. No, not. Just telling you what it is. I'm telling you a story here. This guy's I've had nowhere near the surgeries that he's had. Okay? Get this. Sills has gingivitis? Probably. You know why? I didn't wear a mouthpiece. And you know what happened? Some of my teeth cracked. Yeah. I might. I've cracked my teeth. My teeth are cracked, some of them. Take O-line at 23, corner at 2. Wide receiver in the 3rd, edge in 4. Trade 5, 6 for tight end. I like that move, that Miami kid. Okay? Hey, by the way, no complaints. Okay? It's just you need some new, and probably, yeah, but that means someone's got to do surgery in my mouth again. You know when I broke my jaw with the Bucks because I was stupid not to wear a mouthpiece. I hated wearing mouthpieces. I mean, I didn't think it was normal doing this. I'm out there huffing and puffing, and I'm gasping for air and putting something in my mouth. Yeah, okay. What are you gonna gag me? Want to be waterboarded? I'm like, yeah, no. I mean, right? I can't breathe. I'm in Denver. In teacup. Right? I mean, look, I can't breathe. I'm in Denver, and I got a mouthpiece in my mouth. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Sound normal? That's not a normal way of living. And then I got a guy, my wife's listening. Then I got a guy giving me some pills. I won't tell you who gave them to me. Hey, Sills, this will get you going really good. So this guy gave me a Black Beauty. I can't breathe. I got a mouthpiece in my mouth and I'm in Denver. Congratulations. I'm ready to go. And the game hadn't started. And the game hadn't even started. I'm in Denver. Playing against Elway. Ready to go. Yeah, like I was like dying. It's only the 4th play. I know. Hey, yeah, I like that kid, that offensive lineman. It's hard to project that right now, sitting at 23. You know, would you move up? I mean, I could move up. I could move up in that draft, depending on what I'm looking for, depending on how desperate I am. Any advice for a 13-year-old son? 5'9", 199 pounds. Like all kids' dreams of playing the game, besides a beast this year in 7th grade football. Yes. You ready? Make sure he works his core. Seriously, if I had to do it all over again, work that core, do plyometrics, do a lot of box jumps. See, meatheads like me were in the weight room, just pushing heavy weight around. I needed to be a little bit more, work on them hips. Okay? Be a little more limber. A lot of jumping exercises. That's what I would do. Remember something about Big Sills, though. I'm a 600-pound bench presser, 800-pound squatter back in the day. Right now, I can't jump over a stack of dimes. Okay? I can't jump over a stack of dimes. All right. Where'd it go? Oh, my God. You guys, this is fun. Do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Super chats, go to the top. Who do we got on here? Oh, we got Mark Farzetta on at 4:30. So we will talk to Farzy. That will be at 4:30. We're working on Michael Irvin from the Super Bowl this week, too. So we're working on that. And Romanowski, as I promised. So these guys are doing all kinds of like appearances right now. Media day was insane. All right. So without further ado, great conversation today. By the way, I'm going to start it out with this Robert Kraft news. Without further ado, we bring our guy in, Big Z, Xander Krause. He joins us now. How you doing, bro?
Sills, what's up, my man? How you doing?
Doing good. Would you make it a fact that the National Football League now is not going to have the greatest owner in the Super Bowl era and not going to have the greatest coach in the Super Bowl era in the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
Well, I tell you what, if they want to be consistent, now they're going to have to keep Brady out of the first ballot. And then they're going to make themselves. It'll be a triple threat of showing how much of an asshole they are, or a royal flush, or whatever you want to call it, for them being idiots. But yeah, I mean, it's odd to me, but I guess they really do. I guess they really do care a lot more about the deflate gate and all that crap more than most of the average fans do. But don't you feel like because they kept those two out, I mean, you almost got to knock – if you knock those two for it, assuming that's why they didn't get first ballot.
I feel now that the Hall of Fame has to go in and strip these dudes of all their votes if they're going to try to change the history of the game. You're there to be caretakers of the game, not to give me your personal bullshit mentality of how you feel about the game. I don't give a shit your feelings about the game. I care you're supposed to be in there telling us what these men meant to the game.
I agree.
I don't give a shit about you, how you feel about it. Your opinions mean nothing to me. But this is the slippery slope you go down when you put the ballot in the hands of people that think they have entitlement on thinking that their opinion matters. It's like, Tanner, somebody talking politics. People don't give a shit about what people's politics are. Look at all those movie stars. They think their points matter when they get up in front of like a microphone when they're at the Grammys or they're at the Oscars. Nobody gives a shit what you think, guy. And I don't give a shit what these Hall of Fame voters think. Vote the people in. And if you can't, take their votes away.
I agree. The problem is that they hold the cards, which is like there's nothing you can really
do. The Hall of Fame holds the cards, actually.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But you got 50 dudes who are protected. No, their votes are never revealed. They can all go on the podcast tour and say that they didn't vote for, or they didn't make the bad vote. And somebody put out, I think it was Pat McAfee at the time. Well, he's like, I've interviewed a lot of Hall of Fame voters. Every single one says they didn't vote.
I know.
The math is not mathing right now. So who knows, man? Who knows? It does suck, but it is what it is.
I want to play a game with you here because I heard people talking in Philly on the radio about core group of guys. And I want to see what you think. In 3 years from now, do you think these respected players are going to be part of the future of your football team? And remember what Howie says when he talks about building in free agency. Howie said this, I'm 3 years out in front of everything right now. How I see this football team, if you're thinking about it now, we've already been down this lane and I'm late. The things you do right now, are going to dictate what's going to happen March 12th and then April 23rd when you guys get into the draft. So I thought of an exercise, and I want to get your takes on it. So I want to go here. Moro Jomo. And I'm going to find out how many. I said you have 6 on defense and 2 on offense. Core group of guys.
All right.
Let's see where
so
you're
talking 3 years down the line.
I'm talking in 3 years will these dudes be on your football team?
Yep. It's good exercise, actually. It's good exercise.
Moro Jomo.
No. Unfortunately. No.
Jordan Davis.
Yes.
Okay. Davis. Let me put defense here. Carter.
Yes.
Okay. Phillips.
No.
Bond.
No.
Dean.
No.
Smith.
No.
Adoree Jackson.
No.
Reed Blankenship.
How old's Reed Blankenship? Is he like under 28?
26.
3
years. Remember, if Vic's not here,
he'll be 27 in a month. I'm going to go no on Reed, although I think he could be.
Jod Campbell.
Yes.
Marcus Epps.
No.
Q.
Yes.
Cooper.
Yes.
Okay. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys.
Who'd you have that I didn't?
Jalix Hunt.
Did I say no? I didn't. You didn't ask me.
Oh, I didn't bring him up. Hunt.
Yeah, I think he's a yes. So 6.
Okay, now let's go offense.
Offense is going to be bleak, I can tell.
Think Jalen Hurts is part of your future in 3 years?
I think this is the year that's the tell. I mean, you asked the question, this question in 3 years, and I just did a quick search. The average franchise quarterback tenure in Philadelphia is 6.8 years. Donovan 11, Randall 9, Jaworski 10, Norm Snead 7. Now you're on way back. Sonny Jurgensen 4, Norm Van Brocklin 3, Bobby Thomason 6, Tommy Thompson 8, Carson Wentz 5, Jalen Hurts 5. So 3 years would put him in the likes in the realm of Jaworski, Cunningham, McNabb. If he has a good year, it's a yes, guarantee. If he doesn't have a good year, it's a no. So this is I think the crux year for Hurts.
What do you think? Do you think he's going to be here in 3 years?
I think he's going to have a better year this year. And I think the owner really likes him. And I think the owner has a longer leash on Jalen Hurts than a lot of fans do. I don't think the owner thinks he's the problem.
You're going to say Hurts is part of the core.
I'm going to say Hurts right now will be here in 3 years, yes.
Okay. About Barkley?
Barkley, no. Too old running back.
AJ,
no. Too old and wide receiver.
Devontae,
yes. I think Devontae will be a savvy veteran by then.
Dotson,
No.
Goddard,
no.
Mulata,
I think should be, assuming there's no crazy injury or something like that. He should be.
I've looked up Landon Dickerson's had 13 surgeries.
Yeah, I'm with you on Landon. You don't have to convince me there.
Cam Jurgens.
No. I think they're regretting the contract. I think in another 2 years or a year, maybe even this year, he'll be out.
Tyler Steen.
No.
Lane Johnson.
No.
You got 3 core guys on offense. And the quarterback is a question mark in 20.
Who'd you leave out? You left off Hurts?
Yeah. Because I know who he is. So you got, I see your formula for it. So out of the 22 starters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on defense for you, and you got 3 on offense. And I'm going to show you where we're going to go next here for free agency here now. We're going to add this. I had 2. I had Mulata and Smith. So now let's put this priority. Okay, so for free agency coming up, you're going to say, according to what you just did right now, the question mark is AJ, Goddard, Lane, retirement, Phillips. What else did I put down over here? And Adoree, and I'll show you something here about Adoree and what I mean by that. So, A.J. Brown, Lane Johnson, Dallas Goedert, Jalen Phillips, and Adoree Jackson. You may have to replace every single one of those dudes this coming free agency and in the draft. Now, I don't believe you're losing all these guys. I don't.
I don't either. Yeah, I don't either.
But I do believe that, get this, I believe Goddard's gone. I think it's iffy on Lane. I believe Phillips is gone. I believe Adoree's gone. So really, the 2 guys that it's 50-50 on right now is Lane and AJ. And I think if you lose either one of those guys, that's going to predicate who you take number 1 in your draft.
It's fair. It's a very fair point. Well, maybe. I mean, I really do think this is an inflection point in the team.
Yeah.
I think they can open the window back up with smart moves and better play, or I think you can close it shut if they don't capitalize. I mean, if things fall flat this year, it's an if. I'm not saying they will. If they fell flat, let's play it out, and they won 8 games, 7 games, 9 games, whatever, and got bounced, you'd probably be talking about new head coach, new defensive coordinator, new offensive coordinator. At that point, a new coach who's not tied to the quarterback. Those are very different things. When you have a new coach who comes in with a quarterback as opposed to a coach and a quarterback who came up together. So potentially quarterback would be on the hot seat even more going into 27. I mean, you might as well reset the slate. I mean, that's a new team.
It's a great take. And I'll tell you this, if they fumble the ball in 26, you're going to need a new OC, you're going to need a new DC, you're going to need a new O-line coach, and you're probably going to need a new head coach. That's what's on the line in 26. You see what I'm saying about how, dude, this is the biggest offseason in Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Sirianni history. If this thing does, look at the massive change. And like you said, 27 might be the quarterback's final season. And you might be in a complete 2020 rebuild.
Yeah, but if they have a good year, I guarantee you Hurts has another fat deal waiting for him at the end of next season.
Oh, absolutely. They'll probably make him the highest paid guy.
100%. It's not even a question. Not about opinion, it's guaranteed.
Yeah.
No, here's what I think is the beautiful part about this offseason for the Eagles and the next season is that I think you've isolated where you think the weakness lies, because they're a very strong team. That's obvious with how much they've won. They're a very strong team with how much outcome they've had in terms of big game winning, playoff wins. They're also a boomer bust team in that when they're not playing their best and dominating and going deep into the playoffs in Nick Sirianni's era, it feels like there's a bottom that just never stops. The bottom falls out from under them, and it's like those movies where they're falling down and there's no stopping. I mean, that's what it feels like with this team, which would mean there's a fatal flaw somewhere. It's not always activated, but there's a fatal flaw somewhere, in the organization. And I think you've isolated where it can be, because Nick Sirianni, I mean, this is the season of Nick Sirianni. I don't know if everybody realizes that, but there's a lot of people in the chat who aren't Sirianni people. You're about to find out. You got Sirianni, you got a young rookie play caller, you got a first-year play caller that's 35 years old as your passing game coordinator. Nick is the guy on offense. Like, he is the guy. There's no Kellen Moore. There's no even Kevin Patullo that you can easily scapegoat off a Super Bowl year. This is Nick. Yeah. So if they have success, Nick is going to be able to ride that, I think, another couple years as well. If they fall flat, I think you're going to see the coach. He might not even make the year, depending on how bad it looks. I think he will make the year. But if it doesn't look good, I could see him blowing him out.
How much of this is going to be also Howie Roseman pressure? I mean, let me explain. Well, I don't think, listen, in here, what I mean by pressure is I'm not talking about firing. I'm talking about what you think about him and what you think about him as a general manager. Okay. This guy here has built these rosters up. He has helped in the hiring process of these coordinators.
Well, he has not built really
he's built two different regimes, so to speak, with different coaches. I mean, dude, his reputation's on the line a tad bit here too.
A little bit. It is a little bit because it's a lot of turnover under him. But where I think you'll get pushback is, like, if you said that to Howie, what you just said, I think he's going to be like, I'm sorry, you got it wrong. Like, maybe you're right, because I more lean toward you where he does have a say. But I think there's the coach or the owner, the coaching staff, the owner, the general manager. Now, the general manager sits a peg higher than the coaching staff. But I don't think if you have a problem with the hiring of coordinators, it's going to fall on Nick. And if you have a problem with the hirings of any coaches, it's going to fall on the owner. If you have a problem with personnel, that's going to come down to Howie. I don't think anybody has that problem right now. So if Howie assembles the rosters and the players don't play good enough or the coaches don't get enough out of the rosters, I don't think people holding that. I don't think people are going to end up holding that on Howie.
So you think it looks like this?
Well, you're not showing it. You have to.
You think it looks like this?
Yeah, with the GM a little higher than the coach. Yep. I do.
So you don't think that the coach works for Howie?
No, I don't. I think Howie is a lot more trusted in the organization by the owner. I think he has the ear of the owner, which does make a difference. It's like a favorite child. You know what I mean? It's a little bit of a different dynamic.
Well, he's built more equity.
But I don't. Yeah, and I don't think Nick Sirianni reports to Howie Roseman. I really don't.
Okay, so when he's going to make a move on the coaching staff, who does he go to the owner or does he go to Howie? Now,
that's a good question. I'm pretty sure
the John McMullen's great column of a year ago, the politics of Nick Sirianni, maybe Nick includes him in his decision making. Howie, this is what I'm thinking, and then they go together and do it. Maybe that's what really makes him a viable part, is because he works with Howie, not aside from Howie.
But yeah, they do a good job at working together. I mean,
yes.
But, I don't want to understate it, though. I don't think Howie's got nothing to do with it. I'm just saying what I think the perception would be. Like if Nick gets fired, I don't view it as a Howie problem, that coach, because I don't think personnel is the problem. I mean, when you look at the last two collapses, 23 and last year, which wasn't a collapse, but felt like a collapse, I don't think that was Howie. I don't think Howie made every great move last year, but I thought he did what he needed to do within the resources that they wanted to use to keep the team good enough to compete. I thought the team didn't ultimately compete enough. That falls on players and coaches, whoever you want to put over on that side of the aisle. I never viewed it as what a personnel failure. Now, if they didn't trade for Jalen Phillips and their defense, maybe. But not all the moves are splashy. I get it. There was a lot of, Band-Aids on there. But for the most part, the Band-Aids held up. Adoree Jackson turned out to be okay.
There were 14 moves, and I said 2 of them panned out.
Yeah, which is probably about right. I mean, that's the type of moves he shot.
But he kept swinging.
Exactly.
Listen, he kept –
it's like the equivalent of taking a bunch of 7th-round picks, right? Took 14 7th rounders, and 2 of them hit. You're like, all right, I'll take it.
And the only one that wasn't – it was a commodity pick was the 3rd rounder you gave up, your own 3rd rounder when you got Jalen Phillips.
Yep.
That's the only one that was really where you had to spend any kind of equity, right? Yep. And by the way, it panned out.
It's like Vic, Vic called it Nordstrom. I equated to stocks. You buy a penny stock, better chance you're not going to hit. Yeah, you buy Amazon, you buy Apple, you buy Google, you buy the Nvidia, you buy the big dogs, you're sitting pretty.
There's a reason why some are not over the counter. Right? That's right. Penny stocks, man. Holy cow, that's right. All right, so let me go here. Sean Mannion, biggest impact this year on the Eagle offense will be what?
It's a good question. I think I'm hoping a little bit more versatility. I'm hoping a little bit more of a pushback on the narrative that, there's no need to evolve when you've been as successful. I mean, if you remember, more than halfway through the year this year, when the Eagles had a pretty damn good record, and the offense had looked brutal and it was being loud, the talk on it was getting louder and louder each week. Nick Sirianni showed a graphic to the team about their record in their turnover differentials. And it's a great – I don't blame them for showing the graphic at all. It was like 41-2 and they win the turnover or something along those lines. And I hope that somebody comes in here and says, you can't operate based on the 41 wins you've had in the last 5 years. You need to constantly evolve. And the risk-averse approach that we had, it worked when we ran for 2,500 yards. It's not going to work if we have a even above average running game. It's not. So we have to – I'm not saying you need to throw the ball 40 times, but we need to add some elements of our offense that get us out of this play not to lose mentality and push the needle, drive the ball down the football field, try and go and make plays instead of just letting letting them come to you. Go and make a play. And I hope Sean brings that a little bit.
I'm going to ask you something about Jalen Hurts. Do you think Jalen Hurts' selfishness not to run the ball is hurting the offense?
Yeah, I do. I think he's a better quarterback when he runs the ball. I don't know if it's selfishness. It's weird because it's been reported like every different way. Earlier in the year, got reported that Jalen didn't want to run anymore. Patullo kind of denied that, but that's coach speak. Jalen denied that, but Jalen contradicts himself every third comment. I don't know. Is it Jalen? Is it not? I think it's Jalen. Who knows?
But all you have to do is
go
by the actions.
I think it's his agent.
His agent? Okay, well, then that's his team. And he hires those people for a reason. Do you agree with this statement on Hurts? Hurts runs, they're good, and they win.
Yeah.
Hurts doesn't run, they're not going to win elite games.
Well, they definitely are a better football team when he runs. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, their offense is better. So,
well, Sean Mannion's biggest impact has to be to have and convince Jalen to run more, because if Jalen doesn't run more, dude, he's not going to be better in 26. Based on what?
I keep coming back to this, and it appears to be the thing I'm going to keep coming back to the more conversations we have this offseason. The first thing I wrote, and when I say first thing, I mean the Monday morning after the Eagles lost the playoff game to the San Francisco 49ers. The number one thing is, what version of Jalen Hurts are you getting next year? It's the number one thing I wrote down. And the number two thing I wrote down is the risk-averse offense back. Not a coordinator name, not Sean Mannion or Cliff Kingsbury, is the risk-averse offense back. Because if you're risk-averse and Jalen's not running, I don't care how good Sean Mannion is, guys. It's not going to look that much different. If those two things are different, you could have a dynamic offense. If they don't play so risk-averse, if Jalen uses, his weapons more, his assets more, his legs more, I think you're going to be looking at a much different team. But those are two big questions that we got to wait and see.
I want to kind of connect the dots with you here on Vic Fangio on something here. So Denard Wilson is going to run the Vic Fangio defense in New York. Right? You understand?
Do you think so? Do you think he will?
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't.
He ran it in Tennessee.
Okay. I didn't know what he ran in Tennessee.
Yeah, he ran it in Tennessee. Okay. Vic Fangio was on the Matt Nagy staff in Chicago. He was his D coordinator along with Chuck Pagano. Do you know that?
Yeah. I heard you say it in the open.
Okay. John Harbaugh's put that staff together to beat Philly. I mean, you got Denard Wilson as your coordinator. You got Matt Nagy, who's worked with Vic. You don't think he knows Vic's mentality on how to build, how to scheme out a defense?
Yeah, that's a very, very true point by you.
I mean, John Harbaugh is building that football team to compete against the Eagles.
Well, you know what they say. Before you're worried about being a good team in the NFL, worry about being a good team in your own division.
Correct.
So, the Eagles have won 2 straight years. The Eagles are the top dog right now in the NFC East. Is John Harbaugh wrong? No, he's right to think like that.
Yeah.
So very interesting point by you. I haven't heard only thing. I even saw some Giants fans bitching about Nagy. I think they should probably be thinking about it a little differently.
Yeah, because they're not looking at why he was hired. He was hired for a reason, because John Harbaugh is connecting the dots here with trying to compete against Philly. He's got, dude, because his attitude has to be, if I beat Philly, I'm an 11-win team.
Yeah, right.
And I'm competing, right? All right.
How many games do you think the Giants win next year?
You know what? I'm starting to go up that ladder a little bit on them, because they're going to have a shitty schedule.
I said 8.
That sounds 8, 9, somewhere in there. I could see it, depending on Dart's play. And
yeah, right.
For help for him too.
I agree. Depends on Dart and Scatterboo's back. I mean, that'll be good for them.
We'll see what kind of impact he makes coming off that pretty tough injury.
Pretty gnarly injury.
Last year for Vic Fangio, do we agree, Xander, that this is the last year? If it is,
yeah, I think so for sure. Yep.
What impact will that be on this football team? And let me ask you something before you answer. So do you think Vic Fangio looks at it this way at all, or do you think he's just trying to figure out whether he wants a coach or 1 year or not, or maybe not at all? So you hire a coordinator that's never had experience on that side of the ball. let's just take it for last year and go by last year's example. That means my defense is going to be put in bad situations again. That means I'm going to be asked to carry the football team the majority of the year. At least I think. You got an aging team. You got question marks on offense on who's even coming back. If you're Vic Fangio, you don't hire a quality coordinator to try to keep the sticks fair. How come the sticks put me in bad field position now, depending on what this offense, if that's one of the worst offenses again in third down, Jesus criminy, that means I have to have my side of the football. You're asking me again to go 17 games and do a monumental thing. Now, that's what he's hired to do. I get it. But at 68 years old or 67 years old, you're sitting here going like this. Jesus, they didn't really – I mean, the Giants hired Matt Nagy. I'm pretty good with that. I think he's an experienced play caller that could at least keep the sticks and the Giants on the field to help that defense mature for Denard Wilson. I mean,
but Matt, you understand Matt Nagy does still have he doesn't have as much boom, but he also might not have as much boom or
bust.
I think he's kind of more like you always say. I don't like a fence guy. Now, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying a hire like that is a little bit more okay, right? Ride the fence.
Oh, you think it's a safe hire? You think it's kind of a safe hire?
I think it's a safe hire. Like, there's also a chance that he's just not that bad, but also not that great. And I don't mind Nick, who maybe knows his back is against the wall, saying, "Let's fucking take a swing here." If it's going to be on me anyway, right? Let's take the swing. At least we might hit a grand slam. Because either way, I'm probably cooked. Unless they win multiple playoff games next year, I don't know if I see Nick Sirianni coming back. Ready? Wait, I gave you the stat on the quarterbacks. Ready for this? There's 3 coaches in the history of the Philadelphia Eagles who lasted longer than 7 years. One of them was Greasy Neal in the 40s.
Andy.
Okay. Dick Vermeil lasted 7. And Andy Reid, as the big outlier, is 14. Nick has been 5. Doug was 5. Chip Kelly was 3. Ray Rhodes was 4. Now you're going to start predating Jeffrey Lurie. Buddy Ryan was 5. Marion Campbell was 3. Dick Vermeil was 7. Mike McCormack was 3. Ed Kyatt was 2. Jerry Williams, 3. Now, these are all pre-Lurie, so not all of them are relevant. But Nick is already in the upper stratosphere of he's 4th. He's 4th in tenures in length for the Eagles coaches.
Do you know that right now, Vic Fangio is the longest tenured coordinator you've had in the Sirianni era?
Yeah, he'll be in year 3. Mark Ganem was 2. Steichen was 2. Yeah. Wow. It's good. Another good pull.
And he's the number 1 on defense in the Sirianni era. So if you think about it, you're around about a year and a half and you out the door.
I hope if anybody, I hope all Philadelphia fans, Eagle fans, especially people in the great city of Philadelphia, I hope they all stop constant blaming of coordinators. Think about it. Look at this 5-year tenure. Who are all the names that people look back and shit at? Jonathan Gannon. We had the number 2 overall defense. Brian Johnson, number 8 overall offense. Kevin Patullo, I think, is the first one that really is a stifler.
Shane Steichen had Jalen Hurts an MVP candidate.
I mean, it's funny though. I think about it and I'm like, we rip everybody. Gannon was fine. I mean, I know people don't like Gannon because
when you fired Sean Desai,
he had the 2nd-ranked defense in football. Jonathan Gannon.
Hey, wait! When you fired Sean Desai, he was 10-1.
Sean Desai sucked too.
What?
He sucked too.
They were okay. Well, wait. They beat the Niners. Wait a minute. No, wait. Not the Niners. They beat the Bills. They beat the Dolphins. They beat a bunch of playoffs. They beat the Bucks that year. I mean, they were 10-1, and then the wheels came off after the 49ers.
I just think it's funny. It's not all coordinators. I don't know how much power we think coordinators have, but who knows, man? Who knows? They can't all suck. I'll tell you that much, guys. The coordinator, the coach, the quarterback. They can't all suck. I'll tell you that much. They win too many games for that.
All right, let me give you a Belichick because people are asking.
Yeah, do you have a 4:30? I didn't get your text. You did, right?
Yeah, Far's head up.
Yeah,
Farzi's coming in at 4:30. So this is going around the Super Bowl. So let me ask you, who's more responsible for the success in Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts or Nick Sirianni?
I think it's an equal slice.
Come on, dog. Don't give me a politician's answer.
God's honest truth, I believe it's Nick Sirianni.
Wow.
I was hoping you weren't going to say that. Yeah, that's just what I think. I mean, it's not that I don't think Jalen deserves credit.
Brady. You think it's more Brady in New England and not Belichick, but you think it's Sirianni in Philly and not Hurts.
Well, look at the year we won. I mean, does anybody think we won the door last year or won the Super Bowl last year because of the play of Jalen Hurts? I mean, I don't even say that as a shot at Hurts.
I say if you don't have Jalen Hurts on that offense, I don't think you win 8 games.
Well, that's fair.
Those first 6 games they played,
I don't know.
Jalen Hurts was the reason you were winning in the first 6 games of the year. Wasn't a freaky play calling. I don't know. Yeah, because you know what they're doing? I mean, people are going, well, it was Brady. That's why Belichick's not in the Hall of Fame, and that's why Kraft is kind of trading. And I'm going, well, let me apply that here to my boy here. Let me ask him this. Who do you think is more responsible for the Eagles' success in the last 5-6 years here, Nick or Hurts? And you land on Nick. Yeah, all right.
So you think Jalen's more bigger part?
Well, here, Jalen Hurts has won everywhere he's gone. He's done in other places. He's done in Bama. He did don't include college. Okay, I'm just talking about a guy has a pattern of winning.
He does have a pattern of winning. I mean, it helps when you go to Alabama and the era and the dynasty era. I mean, I'm not trying to criticize Jalen, but the peak era of the peak coach in the history of college football, Jalen was at his program. I mean, it's good. It's a nice spot for Hurts, but yeah. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's the whole story on the guy. I mean, they fucking won a lot of games. They were 26-2.
I can't believe you landed on Nick. Oh, my God. Dude, the quarterback, man, I mean.
Dude, I said both, and you didn't accept my answer.
No, because both is a shit answer.
It's the fucking truth.
It's a shit answer.
It's both.
Dude. It's both.
You think Jalen would have won as much without Nick?
I think Jalen would win more if he had a better coach.
Oh, bullshit. What? With
Really?
A coach who wants him to throw the ball 35 times a game?
No, I'm talking a guy like Tomlin.
Tomlin's got Nick. Tomlin, I mean.
Yo, who Tomlin have? Let me guess. Mason Rudolph as a quarterback. And let me guess. Kenny Flickett. Right? Oh, wait, Justin Fields. By the way, that was a dope ass.
I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where if you want, I don't fuck. Like, I guess it's Hurts. To me, it's the whole team. Can I take Howie Roseman? How about fucking that? I take Howie Roseman. Jalen or Nick. Fucking give me Howie.
Howie Roseman. I was like, what the fuck is that? Howie Roseman. All right, man. Hey.
Look at everybody in the chat. You got to be agreeing with Sills. Lander is tripping. Yeah. Jalen Hurts. We would have no wins if it wasn't for Jalen Hurts. Fucking, you can say the same about Nick. It's a push. Neither of them have proven that it's demonstrably not them or them either way. Neither have proven that.
That's right. Well, there is one consummate. It's Howie.
Yeah.
Really Howie, right?
I love it. I'm on an island. Give me the greatness of Nick Sirianni, baby.
Okay, wait. I got another topic here on that then. Do you think do you think another coach would have had as much success in Philadelphia if he was in here instead of Nick?
No, I think he would have. No, I think he would have erupted at the setup because you have to be a guppy. You have to be a lackey.
Well, you mean you have to not want to coach?
I don't.
He doesn't really coach anything.
We've been around too much football to have that tape, dude. Come on. Was Jimmy Johnson the offensive play caller?
No, but Jimmy hired the play caller himself.
Nick hired Sean.
Okay.
What about Nick hiring Kellen?
Yeah. I don't believe that.
Oh, yeah, right. When it works, you don't believe it.
No, what I think is this. Well, maybe he did hire him because you know what? He was brought in to try to throw the ball, and when they did, and they were turning the ball over like a turnover machine, he probably went to Kellen and said, no, we're going back to my way.
Yeah. And then guess what? And then they went to the Super Bowl, which, maybe let's go back to that question 3 minutes ago.
Okay.
Ooh, the Nick Sirianni offense, and we're parading down fucking Broad Street.
So wait, who's more responsible for that Super Bowl? Hurts or Nick?
I already told you my answer. You erupted at it.
Nick. Okay.
You erupted at it. I told you, give me a push.
Push. Yeah. Okay. You think it's more Belichick in New England?
No.
I mean more Brady in New England. But
no, do you think all right, so Tom left Belichick, went to a new organization with a new team, a new roster, new coach, new GM, new everything, and then went to the Super Bowl in 2 years and won. Do you think Jalen would be able to do that?
Oh, I tell you what I really loved about LeBron Brady. My favorite thing about LeBron Brady was that he left that football team and checked out and went around and went, who's got the biggest and most packed roster I can go to? So let me go to Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Let me bring my boy Gronk in. Oh, by the way, there's a guy there in Bruce Arians that has won a couple Super Bowls in Pittsburgh. And also is my boy. We'll go down there at a loaded team, Vita Vea on the other side.
Oh, wait, so now quarterbacks don't need good teams to win.
Oh, no, he does. He absolutely did. He went down to a loaded Tampa team.
Oh, bullshit.
Wait, Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin.
Antonio Brown was there for a cup of tea.
They don't win the Super Bowl without Antonio Brown. They do not win the Super Bowl without him.
LeBron Brady is an insane comment.
LeBron Brady. I had to leave because I had to go fight.
He spent 20 years in New England. What are you talking about, LeBron Brady?
And 20 years in New England, they went to 9 Super Bowls, and they won 9 AFC championships. And Belichick actually built the football team. You know, there's more than one just a quarterback. There's like DBs, O-line, wideouts.
Well, you're the jerk who asked me the question, the coach or the quarterback, like there's nobody else.
And I'm gonna.
I told you I would take Howie. I would take Vic before the two you gave me.
Well, I'm gonna ask you this on. I'm gonna ask you this on AJ here. Then we're gonna get super chats. We appreciate you guys. Please hit the like button.
Look. Now you got smart people like Chuck talking silly. Look, yeah, you're right, Chuck. It's not impressive at all that Brady left and went to Tampa and won. You're right. Keep taking them Sileo-eyes going. Hey, that tell you the roster was so good anyway.
Hey, wait, Chuck. You ready, Chuck? Tristan Wirfs. Gronkowski.
Dude, Tristan Wirfs was like a rookie that year. He wasn't even that good.
He was all pro. Hey.
Was he? I don't even know.
Yeah. By the way, your boy Devin White was all pro.
All right, well, let me just give you something real quick. For all the Nick Sirianni haters, it's been 5 years, folks. Doug Peterson was 5 years. Andy Reid, 14 years, triple the tenure. Chip Kelly, 3. Ray Rhodes, 4. Rich Kotite, 4. When you look back, all right, when you're old and you're sitting in your rocking chair on the porch and you're reading your Eagles Encyclopedia from Ray Didinger, all right, and Nick Sirianni has more medals and more accolades and more achievements next to his name than any other coach that's ever been here in Philly. Are you going to look back at the guy, the only guy who's got meaningful accolades, and say, "Oh, that guy was a freaking stiff"? Man, do you remember? You guys talk about him like he's Kotite. It's ridiculous. This fan base. They talk about Nick Sirianni like he's a bag of rocks.
guys.
He's the most successful coach we've ever had.
Okay, well, let me ask folks this question. If you had to coach and build a football team and coach a team to a 60-minute game, would you want Nick Sirianni being on your sideline or Dick Vermeil? Or here's a better one. Would you want Andy Reid on your sidelines? I think those win percentages are bullshit. I think they're more on the type of coach, what you're taking over, who you are. That's like saying that Nick's got a better win percentage than Bill Parcells. You take Nick over Parcells?
I didn't say that. Don't put, you know what I mean?
Well, what are you saying then? You're telling me. Well,
I'm telling you, in Eagle history, for the comparisons of coaches that we've had.
So you would take Nick over Vermeil?
Yeah. Now, I wasn't, I mean, I didn't watch Vermeil live, but.
Would you take Nick over Andy?
No.
Nick's got a better winning percentage.
Nick's not as accomplished as Andy Reid. Wait, what version of Andy?
Oh.
Wait. Because remember, I like Andy Reid. How many NFC Championship games did Andy Reid's teams lose? Okay. How many Super Bowls did they have in 15 years?
0.
14. Now, I don't think his rosters are as good. So I don't think it's all Andy. I'm just saying. That's kind of my point, precisely, is that everybody thinks Andy Reid's a great coach. I agree. Nick Sirianni has more accolades than Andy had. Now, so it appears to me that the real MVP of this football team
Howie Roseman.
is Howie Roseman.
Who was the general manager back then? Was it God, who's the guy that was the GM that you guys used to have? Yeah, Joe Banner. Howie's better than Banner.
Yeah, way better. You kidding me?
Way better than Joe Banner.
Way better.
Absolutely. So
he's like a super version of Joe Banner.
Yeah, he's a super. Yes, yeah, I would say that. Okay, I would say that.
Nerdy so Howie, you gotta love it, baby. The MVP of the Philadelphia Eagles right now.
Oh no, I was wrong. I was wrong in the beginning about him.
Well, I don't think you were wrong at the time. I mean, a lot has changed the narrative on Howie in the last 5 years.
He couldn't draft to save his life.
He couldn't, dude. And people will conveniently forget this. Mike Gill came on Birds 365 in 2021. All right, the year that Nick Sirianni was hired, and said Howie Roseman was a top 3 general manager in football. He got obliterated in the comments. Obliterated. This is when we were first getting bigger on YouTube. Obliterated. What are you talking about? Howie should be fired. Fire Howie. Hashtag fire Howie. Because of Jalen Reagor pick the year prior. A couple years have gone by. By the way, you've been on a show every year since then. The narrative has changed greatly on Howie in the last couple years. People
around the league too. Around the league too. I'm just saying, it wasn't that long ago that people were calling for his firing either. It was 4 years ago. 18 game season's coming. We're going to read your supers. You want to see an 18-game schedule?
No, not at all. I want to see a 16-game schedule. Go back to 16. 17 bullshit stupid. I want healthy players. I want a good product. It's just stupid. They're stretching it too thin. It's, at some point you have to be able to weigh when the pendulum swings. I think they've reached the pendulum. The league is good. You're capitalizing. Continue your international mission to make more money. It's a good thing if you think that's necessary to grow your bottom line.
So you believe less is more?
I believe they've reached the max capacity. And soon you're going to start. You already are seeing a pretty crazy number of Achilles and knees. They already don't practice. I mean, how much more do we really need? I think the season is good. I thought the season was good at 16 ball games. I did. Now I get it. The cash register go burr, and they got to freaking keep it going. But I don't know, man. I think you've reached the pendulum. I think you've reached that threshold.
This is the last topic. We'll read your supers, I promise here. Mark Farzetta is going to join us. How did Stoutland go from being so revered in the organization to all of a sudden there's question marks on the guy now? I mean, how do you go from –
what a perfect final question.
I mean, hey, what an iconic year he had a year ago to where all of a sudden now – should they relieve him of his duties? They did relieve him of his duties. Nobody will ever know anything inside that organization. It's like the CIA, like you're at Quantico. And I mean, all of a sudden now to where do you want to work with this guy with the binky with 25 months of coaching? Sean. I mean, how did it get here with him?
I'll tell you exactly how it got here. All right. Now, if you're somebody listening right now, whether you're on the podcast or on the show or on the clip or on the live show right now, listening. All right. If you're one of the idiots who just heard me a couple minutes ago give credit to Nick Sirianni, all right, you're probably the same guy who was saying, fire Stoutland for Cliff Kingsbury. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that because that'll fix the offense. Same idiots. These are the same idiots, Sills.
No way.
You want to fire Stoutland for all these guys. The same idiots who say Nick Sirianni stinks, they're all the same people. We got a lot of idiots in Philly. All right? I love Philly. They got a lot of idiots. And if you're listening and you're one of those idiots, maybe listen up. All right? Maybe listen up.
Well, how'd it get there?
It got there because of idiots. The offense has one bad year, and it's because of a lot of reasons, and they want to fire him for Cliff Kingsbury.
What did John say about demoting him? Did they?
I'm pretty sure they demoted him, yeah.
Why?
From the run game. From the run game. They wanted to switch in the moment. Now they're going to keep him down.
I wouldn't come back. Would you? Now, there's 5 million reasons to come back. I will.
No, I don't think they're paying him $5 million.
What's that?
I don't think they're paying him $5 million.
Well, I think he's the highest paid O-line coach in football.
Yeah, well, the highest paid coordinator made less than that until this year. So
probably not. He's probably 2.5. Yeah, he's the best O-line coach in football next to Callahan. I mean, he is
100%.
I just don't know how it got here, Xander. I mean,
dude, I'm telling you how it got here because the simpletons have a simple brain, and they just go to the easiest person to blame. The run game is bad. Stout. Oh, what happened in the last decade when you were calling them the best offensive line? I got a T-shirt for sale on my website. Stout you. We were selling them less than a year ago, Sileo. They were flying off the shelves.
I know.
One bad year in the running game or mediocre year, blow Stoutland out. Let's go get Cliff Kingsbury. There's no logic. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no practical, pragmatic thought process that leads to these things. Anybody who thinks Jeff Stoutland doesn't get the respect or is a Hall of Fame O-line coach is dumb, frankly. Is dumb.
At the 26th season, you ready? I could see this happening already. Vic retires. Stoutland leaves.
Yeah. I'm telling you now, you're talking about a tough situation.
Wow. And if they shit the bed, the head coach is out, your hero?
He's my hero. He's not my hero.
Well, then why is the head
How many times have I said on your show he's not my style of coach?
Okay, how come then the owner has almost fired him 2 times in the last 3 years?
Look at my boy Primo. He's rocking the Stout U hoodie right now. Go, Primo. What'd you say?
Owner wants to fire his ass twice in the last 3 years.
Yeah, for Cliff Kingsbury. That's how fat. Yo, Eagle fans, look, your ceiling. See that? It says gullible up there. And they're going to break their neck and go and read it.
It's like a bat signal. Dumb.
They're going to go and read it. I mean,
dumb.
Come on, man. You're falling for the banana in the tailpipe.
Dumb.
By the way, the Patriots are winning the game on Sunday. They'll be Super Bowl 60 champions.
Here's what I say. I think that your boy throws for 422 yards in the ball game.
Who, Darnold?
And Darnold throws for 4 TDs.
Wow.
And they blow that football team out 41-10.
Wow. That will be amazing for Sam Darnold. I have no dog in the fight. I don't really care either way.
No, you sound like Brady.
I saw 2 guys at the podium last night. One guy was shaking like a board. He was stiff like the diving board at your local pool when you were a kid, at the municipal pool. Stiff. I saw Drake May loose, relaxed, calm, cool, confident, ready to go, unfazed by the moment. I got Drake May and the Pats winning the football game.
Hey, man, when you throw the ball 55% completion percentage in the playoffs, you really don't have to fucking worry about what your game is because you ain't done shit in this playoffs.
Well, I mean,
now the weather played a factor in both yards.
It did. I mean, and you could say the similar thing about. I mean, all Drake has to do is have one good game. You understand that? I mean, Jalen didn't play all that good leading up to the Super Bowl last year. He had a good NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
But he didn't really play that great in the Rams game and the Packers game.
No, he's got Jalen Hurts all over him. I could play like shit, get to the game, and maybe play good in it. I got
it. Drake May's a stud. You're sleeping on Drake May.
I'm not sleeping on Drake May.
Yeah, you are.
No.
Because you want to be right on Darnold. It's all right. I respect
No,
you.
No.
You were on Darnold all year. You could take that one to the bank.
No. I don't really think it's 41-10.
No, I know you were,
I'll tell you what I do think. I think it's going to be a defensive battle. Untrue. All kidding aside, I think there's two good defenses here, and I think that Darnold. See, don't you agree with this number? I think the way that Seattle plays offense, if Seahawks throw interceptions, they can throw their way back into the game. I don't know if the Patriots, if they turn the ball over, can throw themselves back in the game. Their only true star is what? Stephon Diggs?
Yeah. They got good tight ends.
Yeah, the Hunter, what's his name?
Hunter Henry. They got a couple.
Hunter Henry's a pretty decent player, but I just don't think. I think this is going to be something.
They got Kayshon Boutte. They got some guys, dude. Drake May's been moving that ball around. I'm telling you, man, it's a solid squad.
If I said 26-24 Seattle, would you be cool with that?
Yeah, I think that's right in the ballpark. I could even see it being a little lower scoring than that.
Yeah, right.
YouTube, don't be a simpleton, YouTube. There's a lot more things that go into it than body language. I was just saying, I watched it last night, and I'm like, I said yesterday I was liking the Pats because I feel like everybody's on the Seahawks, and the Pats seem to me like, the team more ready for it. So we'll find out. We'll see.
Well, Seattle's been prepped for this because look at their journey. They had to go through the NFC West.
But sometimes that bodes not as good for the long run, where you could be burnt out. Their best football is come and gone. You know how it is, man. Like, you could be the best football and you could be the best football team at the end of December, and January could come and you could have a bad play. You know what I mean? Like it can all change quick. So,
all right, if we got supers, let's read them here, guys. We appreciate you. Please hit that like button.
Can't believe how many people I had a roast today. I had to roast so many people today on this show, on the morning show. I mean, what's going on with everybody in the chat? Here's Hungry Dogs. Joe Banner, Lurie's BFF. Banner got a piece. Browns to leave.
Not sure what that means, but
yeah.
I thought Joe Banner was I thought he worked well with Andy, but Howie Roseman he's gotten so much better since the Jalen Reagor trade.
Well,
or draft pick.
A piece Browns to leave. Dio, appreciate the super brother. I'm not sure what.
Thank you, my friend.
Here's Kyle. If we glorify Sirianni like he's the best because his 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 win, in reality, he's like Mike McCormick. He's been a coach for 5 years, Kyle. What are you talking about, Kyle? He's been a coach for 5 years. You're talking about him like he's a tenured guy, like he's a long-standing. He's already the 4th longest tenured coach in Eagles history.
So
and he's more successful than every single one of his predecessors.
How do you think Sean McVay would have done here in the last 5 years?
Sean McVay would have done really good, but it would have looked a lot different.
Why? Because the quarterback wouldn't be here?
I mean, Sean McVay traded his number 1 overall pick, and he was the same style of quarterback as the guy he traded for, which was just a little bit worse. I mean, yeah, I do. I think he would trade for the players that fit his offense.
Let me ask you a question about Andy Reid then. Would Andy Reid succeed more with this version of Howie Roseman than with Joe Banner?
Yeah, for sure. But the hard part to evaluate Andy is this. I think Donovan's a good quarterback. I don't think Donovan McNabb is not a good quarterback.
I don't either.
So do you think Donovan McNabb is better at his time in his era than Jalen Hurts is in his era?
Mm-hmm.
I do. Okay, so maybe the rosters weren't as good.
Better player, you mean, right?
Better player, yeah. I think Donovan was better.
Yes.
So Nick won with the roster today, and has been more successful. Andy didn't really have great success with a good quarterback. Now, again, the rosters weren't as good, but Andy didn't really have great success until Patrick Mahomes, who's proven to be like a generational player. So I don't know. It's a little harder to gauge. And I'm not saying I don't like Andy.
If they had kept Doug since he won that first Super Bowl, how do you think Doug would have done in the last 5-6 years with Jalen?
Yeah, that's the one where you get me. Like, I think Doug would have done really good with this team.
You think Doug would have won that 22 Super Bowl?
I'm not sure. It's tough to go back and live like that because did they even get there? Did they hire Jonathan? You know what I mean? Like, everything would have been different. So it's hard to gauge it like that. But I do think specifically who I can say would have impacted, I think Doug Peterson and Jalen Hurts would have been a better combination for each other than Nick and Jalen have been. I think Nick's had to kind of condense his offense, and that's in a way forced Jalen to condense his game. Whereas I think Doug would have found the right mix of how to get Jalen to grow while also not putting so much on Jalen's plate that we cost ourselves games or we throw 35 times. I mean, I think Jalen Hurts, if I'm not mistaken, one of his first games starting, we brought this up before, threw the ball like 40 times in one of his first games with Doug in the Cardinals, and he looked good. Now, it's rookie year, but I think Doug and Jalen would have been a solid fit.
You think it would have been a better fit?
I do a little bit because I think right now, I think they've been a successful fit right now. But in a way, can't we all agree they've both kind of condensed? Like Nick has become one-dimensional in his offense. He used to coach a Phillip Rivers offense. And Jalen has become a little bit more one-dimensional in that he's no longer growing and becoming, I think the quarterback that many people thought he could become at one point. That's why he makes the comment about the straitjackets. Some of those things do exist. So here's Fleming. If Rich Kotite called the timeout and punted on third down, I was at the game. Knee pad Nick is slightly above that. Yeah, right. With 2 NFC championships, he's slightly above Rich Kotite. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm not going there with
that.
I
love Philly fans, but they're fucking delusional sometimes. They really are.
Hey, I'm not going. Nick's better than Rich Kotite.
Here's Mr. Hill. Mr. Hill, thanks for the $10. I am 59. I lived most of my life as a loser Eagle fan. We need to appreciate the 8-year window, even if it closes. My dad and uncle never saw a Super Bowl win. That's true. That's what my uncle was telling me at Christmas this year.
Crazy. You guys never saw that.
Here's Hanger Dogs. Do you think the depth of O-line was talent and personnel or coaching? If personnel and talent, shouldn't Howie be under scrutiny?
Yeah, but I think Howie's done a nice job since Jalen Reagor.
Do you think personnel was one of the top 3 problems on the team last year?
No.
Yeah, I don't.
No, I do not.
Here's Tony Dose. Can the Eagles franchise tag Jalen Phillips? They could, but they're not going to do that. That's not really the way the Eagles do business. So I would
$26 million tag. That's not happening.
I think we got that one right. Sills, me personally, Boston, Lomu, Proctor, Vega.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah. All right, brother. That's all.
I'm gonna ask Farzetta that question.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear what Farzi said. I'm curious to hear what he says to the question that everybody ripped me for too.
about Nick. Yeah, I'm gonna ask him that one too. All right, Big Z. We'll catch you tomorrow on the show on Birds 365.
Later, dude. Appreciate it.
You got it. Love talking to my Paisan brother here. I can't wait to. I got a couple questions here because there was a question asked at the Super Bowl about Brady and Kraft, and I'm going to ask that question here to him. But so I'm going to set it up here for my friend Mark Farzetta here. With all these changes that you've seen, and with all the people saying that Nick Sirianni could have been fired twice in the last 3 years, should ownership have left Doug Peterson in place? And if they had left Doug Peterson in place, would Jalen be further ahead as a quarterback? And you wouldn't have all these coordinator changes. Let's bring in our friend, one of the greats there in Philadelphia, our friend, a Paisan brother from another mother. He is Mark Farzetta. We appreciate him. How you doing, brother? How you going there, man?
I'm doing fantastic, man. How you doing?
It's kind of like, you're like a withdrawal. You're going through, you're usually at this place here, the Eagle fans right now. I saw a poll from the Inquirer. Do you care about the Super Bowl? Hell no. I don't give a shit about what's going on in Santa Clara. I don't care about anything other than what's going on in our neck of the woods here, but kind of like a withdrawal a little bit because I think many people thought you would at least been in the NFC title game, no?
I did not see that. I mean, I didn't think they'd be a one and done team when it came to losing to the San Francisco 49ers and whatever that was that they had bubble gummed together to play the Eagles. But the Eagles all season were trying to say, hey, look, this is what we are. Everybody pay attention. And then there was a brief fleeting moment where Nick Sirianni was going to take over more responsibility. And that turned out to be a big dud. And with the season on the line, they went to Kevin Patullo for the play. And guess what? Shocker, he didn't have it. And now we got to – I felt – I don't know if I told you this before or not, but I felt a sense of relief when the season was over. I mean, it was like, okay, we're not going to try to figure this out anymore. It's time to get rid of Patullo, get the offensive line healthy, find someone that's going to grow, help Jalen Hurts grow his game, and we're going to move on. That's what I felt at the end of the season. And then, over the last, week, I've just been pissed off about shoveling snow. So that's taken over that, the rage I felt watching the Eagles try to have an offense this year was immediately replaced by the rage of shoveling snow.
So I just asked Xander this question. Let me ask you.
Yeah.
With all these coordinator changes, we'll get to the new one here in a minute, but if Doug Peterson had stayed, do you believe that he would have had as much winning, more winning? Jalen would have been a better quarterback, a worse quarterback, if they had decided to keep Doug that fateful week when they decided to move on from him. How do you think, do you believe he would have won as much as Nick, less or more?
No, he would not have won as much as Nick Sirianni. I mean, look, for all the faults that Nick Sirianni has, that guy he wins a boatload of football games. It was starting to fall apart with Doug Peterson already. And if he stays, that means more of his offensive coaching staff also stays. And his offensive coaching staff was not that great. I mean, at least you had Frank Reich. After that, are we celebrating Press Taylor? Like, what are we doing after that? Celebrating Mike Groh? Like, I really liked and still like and respect Doug Peterson, but the whole Carson Wentz situation blew up. Doug couldn't manage that. I don't really know who could have, but him trying to pick his own staff and getting into the power struggle, unfortunately, with management, it wasn't going to happen with Doug. I think it was when he was done, I honestly felt nothing. I didn't feel like it was this is a travesty. What are they doing? He just won a Super Bowl 2 years ago. I felt like it was time to make the change. I feel like it had run its course. It was great. The one thing that is intriguing to me is like Sean Mannion, who I know we'll get to. You're talking about a guy who played the position. He played the position around some pretty great quarterbacks in his career. And maybe he would have had something to really offer Jalen Hurts to help grow his game faster. But around that same time, the other side of the coin is that Jalen was in his second year as a starter, the runner-up in the MVP award to Patrick Mahomes. That's pretty damn good. He was in a Super Bowl already, so it would have been hard to have been better. Literally, you'd had to win a Super Bowl early on, very early goings of Jalen Hurts' career to justify the time machine in knowing whether or not Doug would have been better or not.
Fair enough. Now, okay, since you mentioned, and I mentioned also Sean Mannion, explain to me how you think he offers something to Jalen Hurts when he's been a coach for 25 months.
I can't. And anyone I mean, Stills, I'm sure you've had
just playing the position. Okay, I get it. But Farzi, he's been a coach only for 25 months. First and foremost, how did he land this job? And secondly, where they interviewed 18 people. That's the dude?
Yeah. So not great. Right out of let's start with this. He wasn't on anybody's short list that I know of. And if anyone's trying to tell you, look, I understand there's going to be former teammates of his, guys he played with, of course, guys he played for there from his high school. His dad was his coach for a while too. I understand there's going to be all these people, Oregon State. Oh, he's so great. He's so brilliant. Yeah, he's never called plays. And when Jalen Hurts has a guy that has at least called plays for a year, he seems to do pretty damn good. He tends to go to the Super Bowl, as a matter of fact. You get a guy that hasn't called plays, well, then you better be a boy wonder. And that's what Sean Mannion needs to be, a boy wonder, to really figure out how to get this offense back on track, how to figure out how the offensive line is going to work for you next year, how to not be predictable, how to get Jalen to be less predictable. Like that, these are all things a guy who, as you said, 24, 25 months of being a coach has to figure out. That seems like a pretty tall order. And then you talk about a guy who's going to be your passing game coordinator and Josh Grizzard. He's called plays once in his career. Other than that, he has more experience as a quality control coach than he does as a play caller. So this isn't exactly a brain trust from the outside looking in that you're putting Jalen Hurts in. So look, here's the thing. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to say nice things about Sean Mannion and try to build him up. And you know what? Fine, because no one can tell you that you're wrong other than the fact that obviously there's no experience here in calling plays or even being a coordinator before. What the Eagles fan base is trying to, or excuse me, what the Eagles are trying to sell the fan base on right now is because he's young, he's innovative. Those don't go hand in hand. Sure, you could have a guy like Kellen Moore who just retires 1 second, next minute he's calling plays and he's doing a great job. But those still seem like they're few and far between. If you're really looking to build up what Sean Mannion could be before he ever calls a play in the regular season, I think it is worth noting that Matt LaFleur thought it's a good idea to have him around. Sean McVay thought it was a good idea to have him around. Jeff Fisher drafted him. I mean, this is an experienced head coach, albeit a defensive mind. Pete Carroll, again, a defensive mind. He thought it was a good idea to have him in Seattle twice. We could talk about Clint Kubiak. We could talk about Kevin Stefanski, Kevin O'Connell. Like, these guys look at him and see a guy that could be a backup quarterback. And when you're a backup quarterback, it's not just about whether or not you can go out there and play. It's about whether or not you can get the starter ready to play, help the starter get ready to play, run other teams' defenses or offenses, excuse me. Those are things that I think add to the experience of at least what creativity he could bring to the table, diversity he could bring to the table, good quarterbacks he's played around. Being around a guy like Tom Clements with the Packers, he's worked with a lot of quarterbacks. The Eagles need to diversify their offense greatly and think way outside the box. I think, Sean, if you're asking me if I'm optimistic or pessimistic, there's nothing that is overwhelmingly optimistic about the hire except a big fat maybe. But there's nothing there that makes you go, oh, here's the proven track record of this guy turning guys around. Like when your brag is Malik Willis, like that's not exactly, blowing me away. You know what I mean?
I mean, when you brought up the greatness of Jeff Fisher, I kept thinking about the wonderful coaching job he did on Vince Young when he was in Tennessee. I mean, that was legendary, right? Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, so
phenomenal.
So Farzi, when I'm in the offensive quarterback room and I'm Nick Sirianni, well, I've called plays. Hey, Kevin Patullo, you've called plays. Let me see here. Oh, Josh Grizzard, you call plays. Who's the one dude in the room my offensive coordinator? He hasn't called plays. I don't even know. If you're jailing, you're sitting in there and you're like, wait, okay, this is kind of, you guys have all called plays. At least you've called plays. I mean, you can say whatever you want about Kevin Patullo. They won 11 games with him. Mm-hmm. I mean, they were 11. I look over at this guy. He's been a coach for 25 months. Man, I just don't know how you land on that. So let me move on to this next one here. So the greatness of Vic Fangio. Now, I don't know what's going on. Do you think by the way, do you believe if he does come back, this is his final season?
I don't think you flirt with quitting twice. Or excuse me, 3 times. I think once, I got one more year. Oh, that was still a pretty good year. I got one more left in me. I think that could happen. I think if there's a financial aspect of it too, that could speak his language a little bit more also. The fact that he's so close to home, I think that speaks a little bit of his language as well. But I think that if he does come back this year, if that does eventually become ironclad, I wouldn't see how it wouldn't be a one and done. And the Eagles would be fools to think it wouldn't be anything more than one last hurrah for Vic Fangio.
Man, I'm okay. And help me out on this one. So how did Jeff Stoutland go from having one of the most iconic run games in NFL history, maybe the most iconic run game, including the Emmitt Smith teams, to being reportedly by Jeff McClain being demoted from being the run coordinator to now you're in a position where you're questioning whether or not you're even going to have the guy on your roster? How did Jeff Stoutland go from the best offensive line coach in pro football to being a guy they're questioning his decision-making this past season. And reportedly after the mini bye, they took those responsibilities away. How'd you get there?
I feel like this is 2 out of 3 questions you're asking me to explain stupid, and it's really hard. Okay. Like, I can't tell you what's great about Sean Mannion. He's 33. Yay. I don't know. Like, and this isn't on you. This is on the Eagles here. I'm trying to explain what the hell the Eagles are doing here. How do you demote? Yeah. How do you demote the guy that, other than Vic Fangio, is the most trusted coach in the room? Like, what are we doing here? This is 1 year after having one of the most historic rushing seasons ever, tacked on to what could very well be a position coach Hall of Fame career of Jeff Stoutland. And you're saying, no. You know what, Jeff? Do less. We know you're great at it, but just do less. How does that make any sense? It doesn't. It's dumb. And who's taking over more of that responsibility? Is it Kevin Patullo? Because that seems like a dumb idea. Is it Nick Sirianni? Because now we're getting dumber. This is ridiculous to me. And how the Eagles have done this, like, for instance, if you think in retrospect on a greater scale, you go back to 2023 and Brian Johnson actually had a top 10 offense. It started top eight. It started to falter towards the end. They had a couple like 19-point games, stuff like that. Definitely not a lot of flow to it. You can certainly point at that. Mistakes by Jalen Hurts, you can point to it like that. But on the defensive side of things, it was a train wreck under Sean Desai, and there were injuries that certainly played into that. But man, going and making that change was drastic at 10-3, going to Matt Patricia. Very similarly, this year, you mean to tell me on a lesser scale but similar, you're going to change who's in charge of the run game? Like, that was the problem? What? That makes zero sense. So the Eagles have done drastic things before, obviously with the defensive side of the football in the Desai to Patricia year in 2023. And now you're telling me that the guy that helped put together a historic push-button run offense that carried you to a Super Bowl and through the playoffs and through the regular season, you told that guy, you know what? We could do better without you. That is a slap in the face to a guy who, like I said, other than Vic Fangio, is the most trusted coach in the room.
You think A.J. Brown's happy with this hire of offensive coordinator?
I don't see how he could be.
I know I'm asking you very positive questions here. I mean, I'm putting you on the stand here.
Yeah, and I'm fine. What am I going to be on the fence on this one? No, this is easy. I mean, in all honesty, it's not fun to talk about what sucks, but it is easier. When you talk about A.J. Brown, you're talking about the same type of thing you might be talking about with Jalen Hurts. And that is convincing somebody, walking into a room with strong personalities. And this is what some people don't like about maybe why people turn this job down. You're walking into a room with a head coach that's going to meddle. Okay. You're walking into a room where an owner and a general manager are going to have heavy input on things. And you're also going to take on a quarterback here who has been to 2 Super Bowls, won one of them, and been an MVP. Like, that's a tough room to convince. Hey, no. I got the answers. So you want to be a guy with barely any experience walking up to A.J. Brown and be like, hey, man, I know how to get you the football more. No. Just wait. I know how to. If you're still here, I know how to get you the football. Jalen Hurts. Hey, Jalen, here are the numbers. You're pretty good at throwing over the middle of the field. Can we actually do that more than once every 5 weeks? Because you're actually good when you do it. Like, how is that guy going to convince either A.J. Brown that he's going to get the most out of him? How is he going to convince Jalen Hurts to expand his comfort zone? That's the thing that is more appealing about a more experienced play caller and someone who does have a track record in the NFL at working as an offensive coordinator, working as a play caller. That's a huge ask of someone who is very inexperienced, someone who has played the position of quarterback, but someone who is very inexperienced in terms of coaching and maybe looking around at other talent saying, I know how to get the most out of you, and I know how to make you look great in what offense I'm going to bring to the table.
Do you believe Lane Johnson, this is his last year, do you think he's coming back or not?
The fact that he didn't give it a go in the playoffs is very disheartening. And I understand that it could have been, and from what I understand, it was just more serious, and that's why he basically was held out as long as he did. I would find it difficult to believe he wants to go out like that. But the guy does have a lot of life in front of him. He has dealt with his issues in the past that he's talked about openly. I wouldn't be shocked if he hung up the spikes. I do wonder though if the competitor in him says, "Let me give this one more." If it maybe he's got a chip on his shoulder about the team going downhill without him. Maybe he's got a chip on his shoulder about the way Jeff Stoutland's name is being dragged through the mud recently. Maybe those things play into it, but this guy has nothing left to prove. He's had an incredible career. If he wanted to call it quits right now, he's going to the Hall of Fame eventually. If you're asking me to bet on one or the other, I would bet on the idea that he does hang it up.
So I'm going to throw these names at you here, and you tell me back or not back. Reed Blankenship.
I think he's back, and I think a big part of that is because of Drew Makuba. You don't want two young safeties back there. You don't want to start up with a new one.
How much?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
How much?
Yeah, I don't know how much you would go for right now on the open market. It does depend. I mean, you got to draw a definitive line in the sand. You got to carve a line in concrete that you won't go over if you're Howie Roseman, because you have other, and I know we're going to get to these names as well, but you got other guys you got to make sure you bring back as well. But Reed Blankenship, I will say, if there's ever been an idea of a hometown discount, not that I ever think it's a deciding factor, Reed could certainly be offering that to the Eagles.
Would you pay more than 10 for him?
I would not pay more than 10. I would not.
Vic loves him, but Vic's only going to be here, like you and I believe, 1 year tops.
Yeah. No, what I know, the interesting thing with Howie is how he's going to shake that salary cap tree and allot money elsewhere. That's going to be a huge. I mean, look, one of the things that really blows me away with Howie is, I mean, not that this ended well by any means, but no one thought he was going to bring back Darius Slay and James Bradbury. He was able to do that. Like, there's just certain things that he pulls off in the offseason that are just, quite frankly, and I hate to give him this credit, but damn wizardry. That's exactly what it is. But to answer your question, no, I wouldn't go over 10 for Reed Blankenship.
Okay, I happen to know the agency very well, Drew Rosenhaus down in South Florida, who represents Jalen Phillips. And by the way, Jalen Carter as well, and Darius Slay. So Jalen Phillips, Tennessee is going to make a pitch for him for about $22 million. Would you pay more than $22 million for Jalen Phillips?
No. I would not. And I
now look, I'm assuming they want all these guys back, but Mark, these guys are going to be really, big time assets out there on the free agent market. By the way, I think he's ranked 5th in total free agents right now, so he's a big name out there.
He's going to get money. Yeah, he's going to get paid. I mean, look, he's got more of an opportunity to do it because of his position. But I don't see the Eagles paying $22 million for Jalen Phillips. I love the guy. I hope he's here. I hope Reed Blankenship is here and all that. But when it comes to the decisions you're making on Jordan Davis, when it comes to the decisions you're going to be making on Jalen Carter and elsewhere, I know we'll get to these, this is quite a hefty chunk of change that the Eagles are going to have to divvy up.
So Dallas Goedert, you asked him to make a $4.5 million pay cut when everyone got a raise a year ago. Everyone got a raise. Everyone but him. And he had 11 touchdowns. And in that offense, you could say that he had like maybe the best year of any tight end in football based on that offense. I mean, what do you do with Goddard? Is Goddard back? Are you giving him more money? Or are you allowing him to walk out the building knowing this, that you mean to tell me you can let AJ walk out? And if AJ walks out first, Mark, are you going to turn around and go, oh, yeah, the tight end 2's out? I mean, there's a potential you might lose Lane, AJ, and Goddard on that offense. I mean, you're not replacing them with draft picks.
Yeah. Another thing that might seem unattractive to other offensive coordinator candidates before they hired Sean Mannion. But I am huge on Dallas Goedert. His big question has been health. Fortunately, this year, I believe he only missed one game due to injury. Here's the other part of that. 7 touchdowns in the first 7 games, his first 7 games of the season, Sills. And then they go through about a 5-game stretch where they forget he exists, and then they're going to back involved in the offense again, and they started cooking a little bit. So I would love to have him back. if the Eagles didn't forget about him in the midway portions of the season, you could be looking at a ginormous contract this year. You're talking about maybe 18 million, 19 million George Kittle type money, because that's the type of talent that he has. But unfortunately for him, he hasn't been able to stay healthy for the vast majority of his career. I think it depends on what goes down with A.J. Brown. Now, you're probably not going to know that till late, the post June 1st designation. I believe they want to keep him around. I know he took a $4.5 million pay cut, but they also guaranteed his $10 million. So there might not be bad blood there. And I know that he does love being in Philadelphia, and it depends on whether or not he could buy into Sean Mannion and whatever it is he's selling if he sticks around. I don't see the Eagles paying him, but if it doesn't work out with A.J. Brown, you could end up seeing Dallas Goedert stick around.
Do you punt the ball on Jalen Carter, and instead of do you pick up the 50-year option instead of giving him the contract extension? Because, I mean, let's face it, and you tell me if you agree or disagree. I'm sorry, Milton Williams outplayed every single one of those guys on the Eagle D-line. I mean, Davis, he outplayed Davis. He outplayed Carter, the guy that they really should have thought of keeping. I know it's Monday morning quarterback stuff, but Farzi, you drafted a guy in the 3rd round, and I get you took the guy in the 13th pick and the other guy with the 9th pick, and you let that guy walk out. But Milton Williams is almost the same age as Jordan Davis, and you let that guy just walk out the building, and he's a star. He outplayed Carter. Do you punt this year, or do you give him a 3-year contract?
Are you classifying the 1-year extension as a punt? Or
I
are you
think
saying
the 5th-year option is a punt.
Okay. Well, then in this case, you're punting. What's the difference between Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis at this point? Have they proved it over? Have they proved consistency?
No.
Jordan Davis didn't do that last year. Now, look, if I'll answer the own question. You're talking about ceiling. Jalen Carter, it's a higher ceiling, certainly, but I think it's a similar situation where you're saying, prove to me you're not going to go try to spit on somebody. Prove to me you're going to be there when you prove to me your shoulder's okay. Prove to me all this. And then you do that and you actually put it together. Not what we think you could do, but you actually do what we know you can do. And you prove it to us. We could be talking about a longer term deal, similar to the situation you put Jordan Davis in a year ago.
Couple last ones here for you. I'm going to ask you one last Eagle one. Then I'm going to ask you about the NFL here. I asked Xander this. He gave me an interesting answer. In the Sirianni era, because the question in the Santa Clara at the Super Bowl is, who do you give more credit to, Bob Kraft or Bill Belichick when it came to that dynasty? So I'm going to use that here in Philly. Who do you give more credit to, Nick Sirianni or Jalen Hurts in the Sirianni era for success?
I give it to Jalen Hurts. And the reason for that is, how many quarterbacks' egos would have gotten in the way a year ago with a star running game like they had?
All of them.
No. I got to insert my way. I got to do what? No. I this is my team. No. Realizing that you have that kind of offense, realizing that you have a bazooka when everybody else has a pocket knife, doing that, stepping aside. Oh, and then in the Super Bowl, you happen to crush it for yourself in the passing game. I give it to Jalen Hurts. And the other part of it is, especially in the 2022 season, how many broken plays were there that Jalen made with his legs, or Jalen scrambled and bought time behind the line of scrimmage and found guys downfield? Jalen's versatility has been incredible up until this season, unfortunately. You're talking about guys, Miles Sanders, DeAndre Swift, obviously Saquon Barkley, for the most part, the same receiving core. These guys are all getting 1,000 yards year after year after year now, and doing it in not 17 games, but 16 games with the exception of Smitty this past season. So Jalen's diversity and his versatility, I think, is the number one reason this team has been able to find success in the Nick Sirianni era. But with that all being said, Nick could get a lot more credit if you see Jalen take that next step in his career and grow with a new offense. And a lot of that not only goes to Nick Sirianni, it also goes with Sean Mannion. And the number one charge of Sean Mannion, of course, is to make that comfort zone of Jalen Hurts now expanded and realize when he should run. Call plays where he has to run the football. The old quarterback draw. Let me see that from time to time. But Nick, I look at, and I think he's a great delegator. But to me, it's not about delegating. It's about doing. Shane Steichen did. Kellen Moore did. Jeff Stoutland did. Vic Fangio did. Jalen Hurts does. I think that's really what it's about. I think Nick puts other people for the most part in good positions, but those people are the ones that have to come through. And they come through, they make Nick look good.
See, I think San Francisco exposed Nick. I mean, I saw a guy with Kyle Shanahan who had like a junior varsity team and a practice squad team, and he go into Philadelphia and he wins a ball game.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You had all that superstar talent, and you couldn't come up with a better play on 4th and 11, and you couldn't beat that team. They lost Kittle 4 minutes into the game. See, to me, I don't think he's a yes guy, and I don't think I should say this. He's an answer guy. I don't think if things are going bad, I don't think he has answers. That's my problem with the guy. When I see him as a coach, he doesn't have answers.
Yeah. My number one takeaway from watching the playoffs was, I mean, everyone knows coaching matters, but damn, it matters 10 times more than anybody thought it did when you watch the Eagles versus the field in the NFL. I mean, let's think about that. My number one takeaway is you see Sean Payton with a backup quarterback, go for it on 4th and 1 when you just take the points, babe. Just take the points, and he messes that up. You see the Seattle Seahawks trying to put a game on ice with Mike McDonald late in that game, storming down the field with Sam Darnold, still chucking the football. Like, that's aggression, but that's also great execution on their part. Things like that you had not seen with the Philadelphia Eagles all season long. How much coaching matters. And you're right. The biggest indictment is that you see a team that is all banged up and doesn't have the talent that it needs to win a game, but yet the coaches put them in the perfect position in order to have success against Philadelphia. What I learned more so than any other year I've watched I'll say in recent years, with recency bias, is this year watching the playoffs, you really know how much the league was head and shoulders above the Philadelphia Eagles when it came to coaching and truly putting their players in a better position to have success, and also, go to the Seahawks for this, not taking their foot off the gas as the Eagles did time and time again this year.
How many people look at the game on Sunday and do this? Well, let me get this. So Clint Kubiak is considered the hottest coordinator in the NFL, and he's going to get the Raider job. Check. Mm-hmm. Josh McDaniels is arguably one of the greatest offensive coordinators in pro football history. He coached Brady, and look what he's doing now with Drake May. He may not be a great head coach, Mark, but I'll tell you what, when it comes to evolving quarterbacks and growing quarterbacks, I think this guy knows what he's doing. And then you look at Mike McDonald, the defensive savant. Then you look at what Vrabel's doing. I mean, the two best coaching staffs are in the Super Bowl. So coaching matters, man. I mean, you're right. I've seen Sean McVay with some of those decisions. Ben Johnson with some of those decisions that he made in that Rams game. I mean, coaching came down to it. Nick Sirianni in that 4th and 11 and going against Kyle Shanahan. Who do you like in the game on Sunday?
I like the Seahawks. I look, the Patriots.
I love that Sam Darnold story.
I mean, okay, that was another thing. How much coaching matters?
Yeah.
Yeah, Adam Gase did a brilliant job with Sam Darnold, didn't he? That whiz kid. But also, I mean, he goes to Carolina. I know he had Joe Brady there for a little bit in Carolina. He was with Matt Rule there. He goes to San Francisco. Then he goes to Minnesota and then now Seattle. And you look at it the last 2 years, and I've heard multiple players now talk about this with Sam Darnold. It's like, oh, that's the Sam Darnold that the Jets drafted, but messed up because they're the Jets. But again, here's the story of it all. Coaching matters. Coaching matters.
It surely does. Last one here for you. So Belichick doesn't make it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, right? In first ballot.
No.
So now Bob Kraft doesn't make it to the Hall of Fame on the first ballot. So let me get this right here. Shedeur Sanders is a Pro Bowler. Bob Kraft is not a Hall of Famer. And Bill Belichick, the winningest owner in the Super Bowl era, and the winningest coach in the Super Bowl era. I choose to you, and maybe this is another dumbass question again here, Farzy, but I want you to help me out here, understand dumb. Help me here. Your takeaway on this and what's been a crazy story with these two guys, the winningest pair in NFL history, during the Super Bowl era, not Hall of Famers. Thank you.
I think spite is a beautiful thing. Spite is a beautiful, delectable, delicious thing, man.
You know what? I got to tell you, who taught me this? There was a guy in my communications class. He called it a caesura, and he said, "You know what a timely pause is, my friend? A timely pause at sometimes in broadcasting will always be a lot more than sometimes you hollering at the way you do."
Hell yeah!
Here's a timely pause. Hey, dude, I got to tell you, I watched that story this week, and I'm like, yeah, I don't get it. I mean, how they came to that conclusion. And so don't you agree then? They have to use that on Brady then too, right?
Absolutely. It's just a matter of whether or not Brady will just charm the pants off of all of them and have them vote for him anyway.
So Brady would be a first ballot? Wow.
Yeah, that would be certainly mind-blowing, more so than anybody else because he's playing the game, obviously. But yeah, if they keep that precedent over cheating, scandals, all that, then yeah, that would have to follow suit. I don't think it actually happens. I think it's easier to keep a coach out, keep an owner out than it is to keep the quarterback out that, by the way, did win a Super Bowl in another place, including beating Patrick Mahomes in that Super Bowl. I would be surprised. I would be surprised, I'll say that, if Tom Brady doesn't become a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think it's easier to direct spite at the owner and the coach than it is the actual player.
Well, I'll tell you, I can't wait to see how this plays out. Farzy, I appreciate you more than you know. Thank you so much, my friend.
Back at you, brother. Good to catch up.
You bet. Mark Farzetta, make sure you guys check him out all the time. He is one of our friends. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit that like button. Got to pay some bills here. Our great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm in all of America for a reason. They win. They win their cases. They take a look at families who have been absolutely taken advantage of across this country. Hey, remember something, too. Morgan & Morgan is a family-run business, and it has been for over 25 years. Ultimate and John Morgan put this company together because John's brother got hurt on the job, and this has been a quest for them. This has been a mission for them to make sure they take care of families across this country. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sale sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
are getting a divorce? Mm-hmm. Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley
had work done on her face? Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
Bathroom? Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh, okay.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica, who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand.
Thank you.
we step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years, and that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on sports grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on sports grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button here. Real quick. So Brandon Beane, the general manager of the Buffalo Bills, is now taking shots at the media because of the negativity that's going around. I mean, I don't know what it is with some of these guys. We have no say whatsoever in your failures. You're the people that make this go down with your failures in your selections, your hirings. We only comment on what you do. So when people blame the media, you know, like when people earlier today, you know what they were doing? Sills, you're being negative. No. Once again, I don't think that exercise we did when I was talking about who your core group of guys are, I don't think that's negative. I think that's pointing out where you have to go in the offseason and how you got to build your football team. That's not negative. You listen, one thing we're not going to do, when a guy does well, we're going to give him all the praise. When a guy doesn't do well, that's why I tell you, our show, we don't have takes that are in cement. How can you? You can't talk about sports and stay on a take. You've got to maneuver the take depending on the production of the player, coach, or owner. That's common sense. I don't know how people land on that. Like, well, that's not what you said last year. Well, the kid sucked last year. The kid got better or he got worse. These shows that do that, they make me nauseated. Well, you know, I'm going to keep with this position and I'm going to stay on this position. Dude, Carson Wentz is the greatest exercise of this. Carson had a 4-year period where he was playing lights out football. He was playing just lights out ball. And after that, it was a short window. That's right. It's a great take, Jimbo. Dude, sports is fluid. Takes change because performances change. How about this one, Jimbo? You want to know one of the all-time greatest? Jordan scoring champ, greatest player in the game. The guy's got great talent. 9 years in, the guy couldn't win a title. Scoring champ, MVP, all of that, couldn't win an NBA championship. That went on for 10 years. Okay, that went on for 10 years. 10 years Jordan didn't win a title. You know, that was a narrative on him. Michael Jordan didn't win for a decade an NBA championship. Had to go through Larry, had to go through Magic. You know you're good. You ain't as good as them dudes. You guys don't remember that. See, people forget they got recency bias. Oh, Jordan was great always. No, he wasn't. Hey, by the way, really? That's completely false. Let's take a look at that. Completely false. Jordan didn't win a title for 9 years. Let's see when Jordan came into the NBA. Michael Jordan. False. What a dumbass. False. Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan Michael Jordan came into the NBA what year? 1982. So let's take a look at this. Michael Jordan came in 85. 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It was 6 years, not 9 years. 6 years. Michael Jordan didn't win an NBA championship. Did he win it in 90? Did that Bulls team win in 90? 91. Bulls won their first one in 91. He was in 6 years, 9 years, no, 6 years it took him to win an NBA championship. 6 years to win a title. Couldn't win a scoring title. Had to go through Larry. Had to go through Magic. Okay? Narratives change. That's the point. Narratives change in sports. That's the point we're making. Guy can't win a title. Look at Sam Darnold. Yeah, it was Magic and Larry. That's right. Detroit was in there too. That's right. It went Magic and Larry, and then Detroit, and then the Bulls. And then he took 2 years off, and it was the Rockets. Okay? So look at Sam Darnold on how the narrative has changed on Darnold. The point is, douchebags, that it's the point of topics changing. They change all the time. Sports, it changes. There's no such thing as a set narrative. And Brandon Beane's sitting there going, well, it's all you guys' fault. It's not you guys' fault. It's Brandon Beane's inability. Oh, the media is saying that, we can't pick. You can't pick. You got a bad roster. It's mind-numbing that in a year that the NFL was average, a great roster like the Eagles were one and done. Well, you think I hear something that John says all the time. I disagree with it 1,000%. I think coaching matters massively in the NFL. I don't think it matters at all in college. I think it matters big time. Now, not head coach in college. I don't think you have to be a great head coach. I think you have to be a great recruiter and in hiring of great assistant coaches. I think that's your talent. I personally, again, in the NFL, because you're limited with 53 men, you have to have great coaching. Get this. I think this. Do you not agree? 2025. You guys agree? Do you think that that's been the least talented roster since the 21 season? Do you think that the roster that you had in 25 was the least talented roster, not counting 21? That was the first year under Nick. You guys went to the playoffs. I'm talking from 22 to 25. Okay? Do you think that that was the worst roster? Yes or no? Yeah, has it been the worst roster? Seals, do you know any scouts would love to have some yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that this upcoming. Scouts don't usually talk, though. Former scouts will. Former scouts, Twiz, will talk. I don't agree with the offense had the most of the talent and the defense had more talent. I don't agree. The offense had most of the talent and the defense had more talent. I kind of see it. I don't really think you were as talented as you thought you were. I don't think you. I think you guys overrated that roster. As we said throughout. Hey, and you know what I want you guys to do this coming this offseason here? I want you to do me a favor. I want you to remember some of the shit we're saying this time and some of the stuff that when we say it to you, I want you to reflect back on some of the stuff that we said because we told you we didn't think this roster was going to be all that great. We thought that the offense would excel because of the money you're paying and because of the names on the back of the jerseys, but that didn't happen. There was no excuses for that offense. And if you're going to tell me a shitty coordinator was the reason that all of that fell apart, well, you don't have a very good team then. You don't have a very good team. Everyone thought we underachieved. I don't think you underachieved on defense. Okay? AJ can't stay. The Birds fan can't accept that BS. Dude, you're not better without him, though. You're not better without AJ Brown. You know, hey, look, Steve, if I'm going to get rid of AJ Brown, you've got to do me this. Okay? I want to get rid of AJ Brown. Who are you replacing him with? A rookie? My problem with Denzel Boston, he played no one at Washington. Yeah, it's not the same football team. Hypothetical, AJ, Jalen Phillips, or Crosby and Goddard. If the Raiders would take AJ for Crosby in a trade and would free up cap to keep Goddard, I think if you lose AJ Brown, I think the chances of you losing Goddard, I think it diminishes. You can't lose AJ and Goddard at the same time in your pass game. I mean, your pass game would be a joke. Devontae Smith is not going to carry the passing game. Who would you bring in? George Pickens? Why not just keep AJ? He's one less of a headache. You're not getting Brock Bowers. Stop that. Why in the God's name? When you're going to get Fernando Mendoza, would the Raiders trade Brock Bowers? They would trade for AJ first to add to Brock Bowers. And Brady would teach. You're not trading. They're not trading Brock Bowers. He's on a, why would they? They're on a rookie deal with him. Trade for Brock Bowers. Passing game's a joke already, has been for 2 years. AJ's cap situation is not good for a trade. It's better post June 1, but here's the problem with that. You got to carry that money from March 12th all the way until June 1. It gives you very little latitude to be able to move around. Stop putting money into the pass game. There's no return on investment. That's my take. I agree with you, Curtis. That's my take. Still, here's what I have to do as a coordinator with A.J. Brown out there. I do this. Still got to defend him. I still look out there and go, I can't just go to sleep on that. That guy will torture me. That, to me, this comes down, once again, it's Hurts. This is all on Hurts. If he runs, you're good. If he doesn't, you're not. Then there's no point of keeping AJ. You need to build your O-line back up. Not a wideout. You don't build your football team from the perimeter in. Your biggest problem you have right now is your O-line. That's the biggest problem on your team. It's not re-signing Carter. You can punt. Pick the fifth year up on the kid. I don't care if he moans. Okay, Jordan Davis, I can hang in there a little bit. We just picked the fifth up on him. You don't really have to address that either. You don't have to get in front of those contracts like you did a year ago on Cam and Barkley. I guarantee you, if you went to Howie and gave him true serum, he'd like both those contracts back, Barkley and Cam. What'd you extend him for, Barkley? You had just given him a 2-year, 3-year contract, whatever it was, and you gave him more money? Hey, thanks for having a great Super Bowl. Here's even more. Okay, well, when the offensive line's not good, he's average. Those were dumb moves. The only smart move he made last year was getting Goddard to take less money and signing Zach Bond. Now, the Cam Jurgens deal, why wouldn't you have picked? Oh, you couldn't because he's a second. You couldn't pick the fifth up because there is no fifth for second-round draft choices. I believe that's going to change soon. So you had to kind of do something with the kid. Either way, Wentz should be grateful. The Eagles gave him generational wealth. Even his rookie deal was big. Well, I could turn around and say the Eagles should be very lucky that I played as well as I did for the time outside of the last maybe year and a half that I played in Philly. He delivered the goods. Hey, Carson Wentz won an NFC championship, was on a Super Bowl team, is the all-time single-season passing record leader for the Eagles, and has the most touchdown passes in the history of the Philadelphia Eagles. He's done something your guy hasn't done yet. He's thrown for over 30 TDs. He's thrown for over $4,000. I don't know. I mean, Carson Wentz's time in Philadelphia, albeit short, was not a failure. It just ended shitty. You make the guy's career look like dog crap most of the time, but that's not true. He just didn't have a long career in Philly. Some guys have long careers. Some guys don't. Nick Foles won it as a substitute teacher. Congratulations, Nick. They built a statue to you. And congratulations. It's the greatest substitute teacher trophy in the history of the NFL. The statue's the greatest substitute teacher. The Eagles are the only franchise to have a substitute teacher out front of their stadium that won a Super Bowl. Okay? Awesome. Fantastic. It was an iconic game. He outdueled Brady. He played the best in a Super Bowl and better than any quarterback the Eagles have ever had. Hurts never played a better Super Bowl and won. Even in the one that Hurts lost, he didn't play better than Wentz. Or than Foles. This guy's going back and forth with Brady. Eagles have to get younger and cheaper on offense, bottom line. Yes. I love the Rocky statue, actually. That's one of my favorite things I see all the time. People when they go to Philly. I've seen it. I've been there numerous times. I like the statue. Can't give up AJ. There's no one to replace him realistically. He's just not. Foles was the best quarterback play I've ever seen in an NFC championship and Super Bowl. Really. The best you've ever seen. Well, you haven't watched a lot of football then. Nick was great in that Super Bowl. You must not have ever seen Joe Montana play. Joe Montana threw no interceptions, had 140 quarterback rating, and all 4 of those wins. Never threw a pick, and threw 12 touchdowns. I don't know. Montana was iconic in those games. Nick was great. All right, let me get to this one here. So, who replaces Vic Fangio? You guys bring this up all the time. Howie's got to start preparing, right? He's got to start preparing to replace Lane Johnson, correct? Okay? He's got to start replacing. Let's start here. I heard the report that they reached out. Now, Jim Schwartz is still under contract with the Cleveland Browns. And is that defense that they have right now built for a Jim Schwartz style of defense? Who's your edge rushers? Jalen Hunt? As of today, Jalen Phillips? Well, that's a far cry from what they got in Cleveland. Let me take a look at what Cleveland did this past year in defense. Let's take a look at it. Defense. The Browns were 4th in total defense. Whew, man. They were 3rd in pass defense. They were 15th in rush defense. How many wins did they have this year? How many wins did the Browns have? The Browns were 13th in scoring defense. How many wins did Cleveland have? Because if they only had 3-4 wins and they were 13th in scoring defense, that's insane great. The Browns only gave up 22 points a game. How many wins did the Cleveland Browns have this year? Holy cow. Is that great? 13th in scoring. And I think they won 4 games. Red zone. Third down. They were 7th. How many games did the Browns win? The Browns won 5 ball games and gave up 22 points a game. Can you imagine if they had any kind of offense? They'd have won the Super Bowl. What about points and turnovers? Can't help them on offense. Carter wasn't himself for a lot of the season. O-line was a horrible management of Landon's knee. You know, when you look at Landon Dickerson's had 13 surgeries. We looked it up earlier today. I mean, 13 surgeries. It's time to think about replacing him. 13 surgeries. That guy's on the back 9. Dude, a couple more, he's finished. He's not going to get healthier. I mean, I didn't think it was that high. That is an enormous number. Hey, I believe in his heart. I think the guy's a great competitor. I think the guy's one of the truly best players you've had. It's got nothing to, you can't fight health. And you can't fight the injuries. Companion man, and he'll need a companion. Hey, look, I wrote down here. I did. And listen, I'm not going to kill the kid, but I am going to tell you who he is. I won't know who this guy is until the first week of September. I have no idea. I don't give a shit how many stats that guy ESP puts out too during the OTAs or minicamps, spreading the ball around, spreading propaganda and all that bullshit. You know, I was told that with Kevin Patullo. Offense looks great. Ball never hit the ground. Da-da-da-da. I don't want to hear any of that BS. I won't know how this offense looks until the first week of September. They drafted Cam Williams, that Rutgers big dude, and Miles Hinton. And none of those guys played or had any impact whatsoever on the football team this past season. All those guys that they drafted, all those guys that they brought in, made zero impact in the offensive line when they needed help, especially in the depth level. You were playing Brett Toth and some of these other guys that were in there, and those guys were okay. But the offensive line has clearly taken a back step, and it's taken, it's walked backwards. I don't know how Stoutland loses his responsibilities on being a run game coordinator, but they did. So I'm going to get to Clint Hurtt here in a minute. Eagles have had success with late round undrafted players, always a couple that make the team. Yeah, because every roster. Well, wait a minute. Forrest, do you know that half the rosters in the league? No, excuse me. Almost all the rosters in the league, almost half of the rosters are undrafted free agents or low draft rounds. Can't pay everybody like you guys say. All right. So replacing Vic. Somebody asked me this question. Seals, if he's thinking about it for a third time, like Farzi said, shouldn't you replace him now? Shouldn't the Eagles replace him now? And bring in a guy. Bring in Sean McDermott as your defensive coordinator. Whether it's this year or next year. Or Clint Hurt, elevate him. Shouldn't you do it now? So you want to get one more year. I don't think the Eagles are going to win a Super Bowl next year. I thought they were. But now that with all this, and it's changed. Carter's not the same. I was basing that on Carter excelling. I was basing that on Nolan Smith excelling. I was basing that on Keely Ringo paying out and playing and panning out. I was basing that on the Eagle O-line being healthy in 26 and 27. That doesn't look anything near that right now. It looks to me like going into this, it looks like you've got a lot of question marks heading into this year. Eagles Nation heartbroken as future MVP. I saw that story. Eagles windows getting smaller, most definitely. Saquon 29, AJ 29. Cornerback 2. Hey, right here, I agree. This is going to be extremely interesting. It is this offseason. My replacement for the Eagles and for a defensive guy, I'd give Clint the first opportunity and interview him. Then I'd go down this lane. I'd look at him and I'd say, let me talk to Jim Schwartz. Jonathan Gannon took that job. I don't believe Gannon would come back. I'd give Bobby King a look. I would. I'd give Bobby King a look. Sills, I don't think Fangio's defense, I don't like Fangio's defense. When it isn't Vic coaching, that's right. That's a great point. If Vic leaves, you gotta take the scheme away, right? I hadn't thought about that. That's a great point. Let me tell you, Curtis, if you don't, when you hire a coordinator, most of the time you're hiring a coordinator to the personnel that's on your football team. And you're going to hire a guy that ran and runs Vic's style of play because you can't change the football roster overnight. If you change the coordinator's going to have to fit the talent. You're dead on. You just can't hire a coordinator and go like you think you can do. Like, look at the chaos you have on offense when you hire a non-RPO guy. It looks chaotic. Yes, I agree. What if we blow out Nick and hire Tomlin? I think Mike Tomlin's a great coach. I know he loves Jalen. Have a lot of youth on defense. And maybe get Schwartz. And you know what? We wrote that. You do have a lot of youth. You have more core players on defense right now than you do on offense. I think you got 2 core players on offense. 2. Okay? I don't think you have any more than 2. Guys who I think are going to be here more than 3 years. On defense, I think you've got a bunch of guys that could be over there for a long period of time. Hanging out with my buds in town for the Super Bowl. Always a great time. Always a great time. Super Bowl week is one of my favorite weeks. And it is. You get a lot of storylines coming out this week. I can't wait to see. I'm pulling for Sam Darnold. Because if Sam Darnold wins, once again, a guy who's not an elite player can win a Super Bowl. I think it makes my point about Hurts that you guys fight me with. If that guy wins the Super Bowl MVP, and he's been on 2 separate teams, and he goes 32-8 in the last 2 years, and he wins the Super Bowl and is a Super Bowl MVP, do you know how many organizations are going to be kicking themselves? Carolina, the Jets, the Vikings, maybe the 49ers. All those organizations are going to kick themselves and go, what did we do wrong? What did we do wrong in evaluating? It's a great example of not paying big money for your quarterback. You can get there with a good player. Sam Darnold is still a turnover guy. Is he an elite player? No. If he wins the Super Bowl and Super Bowl MVP, you think he's Joe Burrow? Absolutely not. Seals, like I told you on your Tampa show, the Patriots coaching staff has more Super Bowl experience than anyone on the Seattle staff. And I think that's why he keeps that game close. I do. I think that's why that game's close. Yeah, I proposed that to John. I said, you should buy the Seahawks. He's like, maybe. Hey, you know, that's pretty awesome when you can go like this to somebody. Hey, listen, I asked Mr. DeBartolo that too. I said, you should buy the Seahawks. He's like, I don't know, I really want to get involved in that again. Do I really want to be? I must be nice to have options like that, whether or not I could buy an NFL team. I'm sorry, man. I don't have those options. Yeah, John Morgan's doing this when I ask him about buying the Seahawks because they're for sale. I go, hey, John, why don't you buy the Seahawks? He's like, yeah, you know, that means I'd have to be not in Hawaii. He's got a home in Hawaii. And by the way, me and my wife are invited. Anytime he's not there or they have guests, I could go to his house in Maui. And so I'm like, he goes, all you have to do is get on an airplane. We got people that live there. Take care of the joint. Go in there for a week if you want. I don't care. And I'm like this. How you doing? So my wife and I and my kid are going to go to Hawaii one day when I got the Bucks. Hey, don't brag. Hey, wait a minute. I just told you. I gotta build up the Bucks to go there. Have you ever been to Hawaii? I've been to Hawaii 2 times. It's pretty expensive there. Whack-ass Super Bowl. I'm just ready. Yeah. So if he wins the Super Bowl, doesn't he become overpaid or elite? Because that's what happens after they usually win. Well, wait a minute. He makes $37 million. He's underpaid. Not overpaid. He's underpaid. I got the Eagles winning the Super Bowl next year. You got the Eagles. Okay. Hey, it's February 3rd. I mean, right? It's February 3rd. What are we going to say here? It's time to bring back the Pro Bowl and put it and play it in Hawaii again. I agree. Justin Fields turned down a Pro. Get this. So Jalen Hurts is smart. He accepted the Pro Bowl invitation. It goes on his ledger, and that goes on his resume. I'm sorry. Justin Fields probably thought they were goofing on him because he was asked to go to the Pro Bowl, and he said no. Who would have thought so Justin Fields snubbed the Pro Bowl. Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft are snubbed by the Hall of Fame. What a week. I mean, what a week. No, I'm with you. I would have been insulted by it too. Hey, Justin, we'd like to have you come to the Pro Bowl. I would have took it. You kidding me? Having a Pro Bowl next to your name? I don't give a shit if you want me to play cards. I would have took that thing, man. Sills, you Pro Bowler? Yeah. The only thing I could say is I was on a Pro Bowl ballot once. That's all I got. I got a Pro Bowl ballot. That's all I have. I feel you. But damn, Sills, I get it. Yeah, but in 25 years, no one will remember. Hey, Justin Fields made the Pro Bowl? Wow. It's pretty impressive. Yeah, he had to do hopscotch. And I think he had to make lemonade drinks or something at the Pro Bowl games. Or he was doing something stupid there. Elvis Gerbach turned down a Pro Bowl. Yeah, but back then you had to play. Being the fifth choice, some people have integrity. Yeah, not me. I have no integrity with that. Hey, Sills, you want to be a Pro Bowler? Yeah. Well, you have to like run around and jump and, well, wait a minute, I have to leave my house. Xander would say this. Does Sileo have to leave his house? Or can he do it Zoom? If he could do it Zoom, Sills is a Pro Bowler. But if he has to leave his house, Jason Cole called me on it too, what Xander said, because he heard Xander say it. He was watching the show one day. So I said, hey, look, yeah, I'll meet you up. I'll drive up and I'll see you in Gainesville. Xander came on the show and he goes, you ain't driving to Gainesville. Driving to meet him in Apaka. Are you crazy? And I'm like, yeah, yeah, I'll do it. And Jason goes, you're not going to, no. I go, well, you know what? I'm going to agree with him. Probably not happening. Holy cow. It's a month to my birthday. How you doing? I just thought about that. It's a month to my birthday. Does a Pro Bowl come with financial bonuses? Absolutely. I want to show you one here. Pro Bowl bonus for players. Money amount. This is why when you guys say it doesn't matter. So here. Winner share, you get 92 grand. Loser share, you get 46,000. Players injury during the Pro Bowl receive a $1 million in addition insurance compensation. So if you get hurt at the game, they write you a check for $1 million. Okay? Contract incentives. Many players' contract and in their contracts contain bonuses for being named to the Pro Bowl, often range from $100,000 to $500,000 for players if you make the Pro Bowl. So, I mean, I know players that have $500,000-$600,000 bonuses if you make the Pro Bowl. So when you say, I don't want to make the Pro Bowl, every single player's got money tied to it. You can make $500,000. Yeah, well, $46K for playing flag football if you lose, and the other guy gets $100,000 if you play flag football. I mean, flag football, $100,000 if I lose, if I win. Yeah, I think I'm in. Says, when are you getting your Bledsoe report? Very good knowledge, and you remembered that. Those things are gold to agents and scouting departments. Very good. I get the Bledsoe report the middle of March. Actually, I'll take that back. The end of February, I get the Bledsoe report. And I have Bledsoe send me. See, and what folks don't know is for my draft stuff, Bledsoe is a scouting service that the NFL uses. all 32 teams have it available to them. There's about 400 scouts that the league has. And what the league will do is this. The league will scout all, I think it's like 7,000 players. And what they'll do is they'll pare it down to, how many people go to the combines? I think 325. How many players go to the combines? To the combines. I think it's 325. It's 320. 329 were invited last year. So they'll pare it down now to 330 players to go to the NFL combines in Indianapolis. And then they take a look at the scouting. They'll take a look at Bledsoe. And what a place like the Eagles will do, the Eagles will get these reports from the league. They'll give them to their own in-house scouts. They'll look at positions they need. Then they'll start looking at players. And they'll go like this. Okay, there's a kid at Toledo this year. There's another kid at Toledo, actually. And they'll look at the Toledo kid. They'll start writing names down. Like right now, the Eagles are probably putting down for the April draft, which they probably did a year ago. They probably got 1,000 names. And I would think right now in February, they've probably pared it down to 250. Because I've been in these rooms with Jimmy Johnson and also with Ken Herrick with the Raiders. And what they'll do is they'll take these reports. Now, the Raiders don't really subscribe to Bledsoe. There's like 5 teams. Steelers, someone else doesn't take the service. There's like 5 or 6 teams. The rest of the league does. And the rest of the league, but I was in there and the Raiders had it in there. Al Davis had it. And he was looking, he was matching it up with their report. And that's what they do. Like the Eagles will look at it like this, and they'll match up a player like Quinyon Mitchell. This is kind of what we think about it. And so that scouting service, I get it because I got a couple general managers that send me one every year. Yeah, no, that stuff is kind of like behind the scenes stuff. And I read that. I think I read that last year. I'll show you what it looks like. I'll give you guys a look what it looks like. Bledsoe report. Yeah, here it is right here. Here's last year's Bledsoe. Let me give you kind of like a picture of what it does. Here's Jalen Milroe. There's Shedeur Sanders. And what it is here. This is what it looks like. I want to make sure any names are on this. A couple GMs on this. So this is kind of what it looks like and how they write and how they write up the I'll read Shedeur's here for you. So I don't think you guys can see it, but it's kind of I can't show it to you, but it's really detailed. I'll read it to you. So I'll do Shedeur for you. Where is that? Here it is. Here's Shedeur Sanders. They had a grade of round 1 on him. 4-year starter, spent 2 seasons at Jackson State prior to transferring to Colorado to follow his father, Hall of Fame quarterback head coach Deion Sanders, 2-time All-Conference at the FBS level, 2024 All-American. winner of the Rice Award, top FCS freshman in 2021. Sanders has been groomed to play quarterback since his early days, and it shows up both on and off the field. He is a field commander who knows the game inside and out. There's a cleanliness to his game from the mechanical perspectives across the board. His polished footwork and release path have for excellent accuracy. I happen to disagree with that. Ball placement to all levels on defense. He's used in the spotlight, can handle pressure, understands all the jobs that face coming to a quarterback and being a franchise. Will not be caught off guard by demands of the role. Puts the ball where it needs to be. A receiver-friendly passer. It goes on and talks. Actually, this is a glowing review of him, and they had him as the number one grade. Actually, they gave him a grade of 77.68. Let's see what they had Cam Ward, who was number one overall. 75.68. Jackson Dart, they had 72.78. They actually had Shedeur Sanders ranked higher than Cam Ward. Did Bledsoe. Jalen Milroe, they had him at 76.58. They where's that Tyler Shook kid? Running backs, Genty, they had him ranked number one. They had the kid Omarion Hampton ranked high. Trayvon Henderson was also ranked high. It's a great service. It's one of the greatest services around. Seals, have you done Radio Row at the Super Bowl? Probably 20 times. It's different now, though. It could be cool to see. Hey, listen, you know what? We could do it. It's a pain in the ass to get up there and do that stuff. It's not like it used to be. You know, there's so many people now. My friend Armando Salguero told me there's 14,000 people in the building, and they're doing two places now. They're doing the San Jose Convention Center, and they're doing the Marconi Convention Center in downtown San Francisco. They're doing two places. So, I mean, San Jose, dude, is far from, like, it's a good drive. It's about an hour and 40 minutes to get down to San Jose with the traffic and all going over the Bay Bridge. You know, I mean, that's a chore to get down there and to get around the Marconi. I did the last Super Bowl in San Francisco. I mean, it's Xander's got to get there. Xander's got to do that for sure. Yeah. No, listen, I heard the same thing. I heard it's not like the guys who are doing, like, most of the time it used to just be like 20 or 30 radio stations at first. Then it got to around 200 radio stations, and it was starting to get a lot. ESPN would be there. NBC Sports would be there, CBS Sports. And it wasn't really like, now it's media. All right, guys, we pay some bills here. The number one injury law firm in all of America for a reason is our friends at Morgan & Morgan. They have won cases at the tune of over $30 billion. Think of that. The number one injury law firm in all of America for a reason. They win. I'm telling you, if you've ever been hurt or injured, you have to check out this family-owned business, and it's been that way for over 25 years, taking care of families like you guys. Go to forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. That's forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. And do me a favor, you tell them Big Sills sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
are getting a divorce? Mm-hmm. Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley
had work done on her face. Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
Bathroom? Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica, who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the jet setters and the high rollers, to the shot takers and the tastemakers. Welcome to the viewfinders, the thrill seekers, and the night owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFC selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Appreciate you guys very much. We will see you tomorrow, 2 to 6 Eastern time. Thank you guys very much. See you on the flip side.